States have been filed in East Texas federal court, more than the total number of cases seen in California, Florida, and New York combined. The newest member of the Supreme Court, Neil Gorsuch, was not involved in hearing or deciding the case. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports Fox News was hit with sexual harassment and discrimination lawsuits on Monday, adding to the catalog of complaints that has rattled the cable news network and its corporate parent, 21st Century Fox. New York City lawyer Douglas Wigdor filed lawsuits in federal court in Manhattan on behalf of Kathleen Fox, a Fox News radio shift editor who says she was sexually harassed and subjected to unceasing retaliation for complaining, and Naima Farrow, who maintains she was fired from her job as an accounts payable coordinator after telling supervisors she was pregnant. In a third case in the same court, Vidya Mann, a Fox News accounts receivable specialist, said she was taken on as a temporary employee but passed over for permanent jobs in favor of white co-workers. The new legal claims come as Fox News is already battling a series of lawsuits that led to the resignation of former CEO Roger Ailes, who died last week, star anchor Bill O'Reilly, and network co-president Bill Shine. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Today's fitness trackers can tell how far you're running, but tomorrow's can tell you why you're running. The new Nike Run Logic Plus pinpoints the desperate psychological demons at the root of your exercise routine. Tech Trends reporter Aaron Vaughn has more.
It's a problem all runners face. You run and you run and you run, but it's never enough. No matter how many miles you put in, that gnawing ache at your soul never goes away. Now Nike's engineers have found a way for runners to use that existential pain to push themselves even farther. Users keep the device on their wrist at all times. It not only records running times and distances, it also analyzes all of the user's social interactions and emotional patterns. It then creates a unique, detailed profile that dredges the inspiring well of inner turmoil inside every runner. Early users say they notice a big impact on their workout.
I started marathoning when I was 28. I thought it was time to get in shape, but then once I realized I was actually running from my meaningless job in ad sales, I started running a lot more, like all the time.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. Dial on in, toll free, and take control of the airwaves here. You can bring up anything that you want to talk about. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype, so feel free to Skype in and join us there at Skype username LRN.FM. Tonight in the studio, it's Ian.
And Mark.
And we're expecting to be joined by Johnson shortly as well. Of course, we'll talk to you about whatever's on your mind, but we also bring stuff to the table that we think you might find interesting. Coming up, the latest from Venezuela. And the folks over at FEE, that's the Foundation for Economic Education, have some advice for what is it that Venezuela can teach young socialists who, whether they're paying attention to Venezuela or not, they should, because it is the current socialist failure to note, and we have been talking about it in some level of detail here.
Well, don't get on the wrong side of U.S. sanctions. There's one lesson.
So we'll get back into, or we're going to get into that coming up. But speaking of the United States, Donald Trump has proposed a budget with $3.6 trillion in spending cuts.
Spending cuts. That's a loaded term. So spending cuts tends to mean that this is what we were going to spend, and we've cut the amount we were going to spend by $3 trillion.
So what you mean is, so let's say that the amount was they were going to spend, increase the spending by $5 trillion,
by $5 trillion,
or $10 trillion,
yeah.
And now they're only going to increase the spending by $2 trillion or
$7 trillion,
7 or whatever.
Yeah.
So here's a story, but we don't know because we haven't seen the actual numbers.
No.
So
I don't know, but
that's usually how it works. Bloomberg.com reporting here. President Donald Trump made an impassioned plea for support for minority voters during his election campaign by asking them, quote, "What do you have to lose?" unquote. On Tuesday, they got an answer, as did many of the rural, poor, and working-class voters who propelled him into office. In his fiscal 2018 budget proposal, Trump asked Congress for $3.6 trillion in spending cuts that would mean steep reductions in food stamps, Medicaid health insurance payments, disability benefits, low-income housing assistance, and block grants that fund Meals on Wheels for the elderly. Yes, that's right. Donald Trump is going to take food from the mouths of the elderly.
Well, I'm pretty sure Meals on Wheels can do fundraising on its own. But...
Exactly, which is, part of the idea. As a libertarian, and I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, I'd like to make that clear. We're just, this is in the news. We're talking about it. But as a libertarian, I believe that helping people should be done on a voluntary basis, on a consensual basis. Fundraising.
You would agree, though, that I agree with you that it should be voluntary, and voluntary means using charities, not using the government. But you would agree that there's going to be a bumpy road between the expectation that the government will care for you and the reality that it will not in a libertarian transition.
I don't know how bumpy it would be, honestly. I mean, yeah, there's probably going to be some bumps in the road, but people, I think you can count on them to care about other people. I believe that that's true. And
they kind of have to see the consequences to some extent. And there's a certain amount of people that are currently on whatever welfare programs or disability programs they're on that really don't need to be.
That's
I've
true.
met them.
The people who are using the welfare, taking advantage of the system, those people, that they know the rules.
Expect the caterwauling to increase to a fever pitch.
Oh, yeah.
When those
Imagine
people
Sarah
have to go to work.
If our caller, Sarah, who's on welfare, if she all of a sudden gets cut off.
Right, and suddenly she can't do her activism, which is calling into Free Talk Live.
Unless she can find some charity that's willing to pay her to call talk radio shows.
Maybe she could work for the Democratic Party. Or whatever it is that she does. Expect the fever pitch fervor. Oh, yeah. I mean, America would have to be ready for this. And remember, this fervor would make for great sound bites. The news is all prepared to make Donald Trump look bad. And they'd make any Republican look bad, or anybody libertarian, or anybody who wanted to cut these social welfare programs, because they believe that these people need to be taken care of. Now, the government disempowers them in a whole variety of ways, and we don't know who the government's actually caring for and who the government's enabling. We don't have that information, and there's no way to particularly find it out without pulling the whole rug out from underneath.
Sure.
But, the media is going to take those sound bites, and they're going to proclaim them far and wide.
No doubt.
This is one of the reasons that I find, taking cuts in social welfare programs, which are largely pretty small.
Compared to the military.
Right.
Sure.
You Social Security, Medicare, which was mentioned. Medicare is essentially a program to give people who paid 25 cents in $1 in medical coverage. It is an old person subsidy, is what Medicare is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's frankly immoral. It's old people stealing from working class people and then claiming that they paid for it. No, you didn't. You didn't get a 75% discount on that medical care and then pay for it. You're taking that money from me, and then you'll take it from my kid, because that's what that program is. Okay, and then you go on after Medicare. Underneath that, the military spending comes into play. Most of these programs like WIC and what we call welfare, these sorts of things are much smaller as far as budgetary items go.
So the plan found little favor in Congress, even among Republican lawmakers from districts and states that gave
it's deadly.
wide margins in the November election, and it had Democrats talking about a deal on spending that would exclude the White House. The administration was undeterred. Budget Director Mick Mulvaney called the spending proposal released Tuesday a rethinking of government to place greater weight on the interests of the people who pay taxes rather than those who turn to it for help. Mulvaney said, quote, "It's a taxpayer-first budget. We're no longer going to measure compassion by the number of programs and the amount spent on those programs," unquote. But Congress had its own plans, and Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell said in an interview last week that Trump's priorities, quote, "aren't necessarily ours," unquote. He said further, "We know the president's budget is not going to be passed as proposed."
I know that too, yes.
Even so, Senate Republicans are working to implement some of the proposed Medicaid cuts as part of an Obamacare repeal bill and plan to take up his proposed tax rate cuts later this year. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer called Trump's budget, quote, the latest example of the president breaking his promises to working Americans. But he also highlighted the bipartisan agreement on 2017 spending that cut the White House out of negotiations and held out hope for a repeat of that deal, saying our Republican colleagues dislike this budget almost as much as we do. And that's because the Republicans and Democrats aren't really that different when it comes down to it. They love their government programs.
In Trump's defense, and believe me, I don't want to do that, he's going to say something to the effect of, look, I've increased spending in military, in the area of military. The military needs to buy things. In order to buy things, people need to build those things. In order for those to build those things, you need to hire more workers. So I'm putting these people to work. I'm giving them, in all likelihood, better paychecks and a better life simply because they're not going to be on whatever the subsidy program is, as opposed to getting a real job, which is what he's going to call a military-industrial complex job. So that's a way for him to what do they call that? Republican welfare?
I would say so. Johnson now joining us. Hey, Johnson.
Hey.
We're talking about Trump supposedly proposing $3.6 trillion in what are called spending cuts.
The best spending cuts.
Yeah, in his proposed budget. So he says, here's what I'm happy about. This is House Speaker Paul Ryan. Says it's going to get a heavy reworking. And he says, quote, we finally have a president who's willing to actually even balance the budget. And we'll have a great debate about the details on how to achieve those goals. The fiscal plan reaches deeply into programs relied on by many of his core supporters, including cuts of $610 billion from Medicaid, alongside $250 billion from repealing Obamacare, $193 billion from food stamps, $72 billion in SSI, Social Security Supplemental Security Income Program.
I feel like I'm talking to some loser that can't get their life together, and they're talking about balancing their budget. You're $20 trillion in debt. You don't need to balance your budget. You need to start putting stuff away against debt. You're paying.
They can't do that.
They can.
No, they don't know how to do that.
Well, they're not going to do that.
No. They're going to keep kicking that can down the road.
They're not going to balance the budget.
No. There's more coming up here in moments. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. But if you think it's bad in the United States for old people, what do you hear about what's happening in Venezuela? It's Free Talk Live.
Message and data rates may apply.
When did American men get so soft? Today's average red-blooded American man has less testosterone than his father, and his father has less testosterone than his father. Before we turn into a country of powder puffs, Force Factor is launching the Man Up America event. We want to send every man in America a complimentary bottle of the breakout supplement taking GNC by storm. Test X 180 Ignite, loaded with free testosterone-boosting manliness. Get your complimentary bottle by texting SHAPE44 to 369-369. During workouts, Test X 180 Ignite raises levels of free testosterone in your body to help build lean muscle. Plus, it helps burn fat, fuel sexual desire, and improve performance. Now you can continue to feel like the real men that made this country great. Do yourself a favor. Do America a favor. Text SHAPE44 to 369-369 for your complimentary bottle. That's a complimentary bottle by texting SHAPE44 to 369-369.
I'm KFC's Extra Crispy Colonel, and you're the extra busy regular person who has to make dinner for a family of 4. But you can shirk that responsibility because my Extra Crispy $20 fill-up from KFC contains 8 pieces of freshly double-breaded extra crispy chicken, 4 biscuits, 2 orders of mashed potatoes, and a side of coleslaw for just $20. That'll feed 'em. KFC, it's extra crispy good.
Pricing and participation may vary. Tax and substitutions extra.
After a rough day on the range, a fella can get a bit saddle sore. That's why I use Blue Emu Original Super Strength Cream. It works fast and penetrates deep to soothe my tired muscles and joints.
And he don't stink.
And I'll tell you one thing, I had no idea this stuff was so darn handy.
Blue Emu Original Super Strength Cream. Available at all major retailers. It works fast for long-lasting soothing of tired muscles and joints.
And you won't stink.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active. to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. You may already know about the Free Talk Live audio-on-demand phone line at 641-793-9660. Did you know that not only can you listen to Free Talk Live via your phone, you can also leave a message and have it delivered to Free Talk Live's hosts? To leave us your thoughts, just dial 641-793-9660. That's 641-793-9660. Press 2 for Free Talk Live, and then hit 0 to leave your message.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Bring up anything that you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype as well. Our Skype username is LRN.FM. Mark, you've been raising money with the help of Cell 411, their matching funds, as well as Jax, right?
That's right.
Jax.io.
Mm-hmm.
So they're matching donations to an orphanage that's being built in Uganda. Tell me more. What's the status with that?
Yep, they're putting up the walls right now. Soon the building will be ready to get a roof. We're ready to raise some more funding to get some more materials. We still need some more mortar and rebar in order to get things get the walls finished, and then we'll be working with trusses and roofing and that sort of thing after that. So every dollar that you donate at this time, and but thanks to everybody who donated in the last 24 hours. It's very, very helpful. So if you donate, for instance, $50 or $100, that's going to be $150 or $300 because it's being matched by both Cell 411 at getcell411.com Jax.io, the official wallet of Free Talk Live.
That's
Bitcoin
huge.
wallet.
I mean, normally if you're doing a fundraiser, you're lucky if you can find one person to match donations, but we've got two.
Right.
That's
and
amazing.
What they want to see, and I think it's completely fair, is that this project is worth something to the listeners, right? Like they're, I'm sure that these guys could write a check to cover the whole thing if that's what they wanted to do. But what they want is
it's
they want
important to have other people supporting it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's it's a community effort here on Free Talk Live. That way we can say the listeners did it. I don't have I don't want to be using terminology like I did it.
Yeah.
I want to be using the terminology like we did it. So please go to hope.freetalklive.com. There are several options for donations there. You can go through PayPal, and then I'll get it to them, or there's a direct Bitcoin address that we can send money to. And there's, of course, options with MoneyGram and Western Union. And we put up a GoFundMe, too, just to some people like that better. So there you go.
And that's at hope.freetalklive.com.
That's right.
All right. We're going to go to your calls here. We can talk more about the proposed Trump budget here in moments and what is supposed to be cut out and then we'll go down to Venezuela and get the latest on what's happening there. It's Ian Johnson and Mark in the studio. Let's go to the phones first. Go to Skype, where Dan is on the line. He says he's calling from a psych ward in London. Dan, are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you. I'm Dan since Anne-Marie from the MTV artist Anne-Marie did the shower videos, and I'm now Dan shower.
I don't know what you just said there. Do you speak a foreign language?
No. I speak in English. I'm in a psychiatric ward, not as you said. I'm in a psychiatric ward, and welcome.
You said you were from an MTV show or band?
The MTV artist Anne-Marie. She did a hit called
Anne-Marie.
Anne-Marie. She did the shower deals and another.
Shower deals?
Shower deals. Shower deals.
Shower deals?
Done. But I
don't know what he's saying. Can you guys make that out?
No. I claim the terrorist attack of Manchester, and I can prove it is related to our.
Now, hold on. We can get into the terror attack in Manchester, but I got to say, I'm curious. How do you get access to Skype in a psychiatric ward? I mean, in the psychiatric wards that I'm familiar with...
Yeah, what kind of speeds you getting there?
You don't...
What are you getting down and up?
You don't get access to electronic devices, typically.
Well, once I did watch 72 hours, so 3 days without sleep, in a row. The telephone, the YouTube video telephone with Lady Gaga and Beyonce. I watched it, and this is true. On repeat, 72 hours without sleeping. So it's possible to be with a laptop in London, in an hospital, watching 72
Are you right now 72 hours into no sleep? Or have you slept?
When was the last time you got some sleep?
Now, from midnight, I did say that I wouldn't eat for 72 hours because they didn't let me have a jug to drink water. And the law of England is clear. In an hospital, you cannot be denied water. But
hold on. So let me see if I'm following you because it's a little hard to understand. So you're saying that as of midnight, your time, which is now, what, midnight 25 right now over there?
London time, I did say this at 5 p.m. I did it after some people insisted that I eat a sandwich. But I said...
I don't know what you just said there. Oh, hang on, Johnson. I'm sorry. Try that again.
People suggested he eat a sandwich.
Okay, I'm glad somebody can make heads or tails of this. Okay, but you didn't answer my question, though. What time is it there right now?
It's London time, but welcome.
That didn't answer my...
Yes, it is London time there. He did answer your question correctly. Yeah. The time there is, in fact, London time.
Is it 11:30 or is it 12:30?
Please. Welcome, New Hampshire. Welcome.
All right. Why don't you just tell us why you were calling?
Yeah, go ahead. Just talk.
Please. Welcome, New Hampshire. Welcome, Colorado.
Okay, welcome New Hampshire, welcome Colorado. There, I did it. You asked me, please. I did. You asked me very nicely, and I did it for you.
Yep. Okay.
Welcome New Hampshire.
Now you were
Colorado.
calling about the shooting or the bombing. I guess there was the nail bomb that supposedly went off yesterday in a Ariana Grande concert.
Apparently killed quite a few people.
No. The thing is that 3, 4, or 5 days before, I talked on a national radio in Portugal. I'm Portuguese. And I said, I talked 5 minutes because I used the chronometer, about 5 minutes. But in 12 seconds, I said, Cambridge, beep, beep, Manchester.
What? No, beep, beep?
Manchester.
Manchester, Cambridge, beep, Manchester, and then Katy Perry, beep, beep, Joanna.
She is something else, that Katy Perry, isn't she? Thank goodness they didn't bomb her concert. Thanks for the call tonight. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733.
I didn't really know what was.
I knew you were going to do it.
Going on.
I knew you were going to do it. You were working on that voice the whole time. Manchester.
I call Portugal radio.
Hello,
I tell
Colorado.
them about I have toast. Someone suggested I have sandwich. I have toast. I could not drink the jug of water. Coherence is not something I am skilled at.
I am 25 minutes into a hunger strike. I mean, you have to, if you start a hunger strike, at some point you're going to be 25 minutes in, right?
72 hours I've gone no eating
sleep.
or sleeping. I'm not sure which. It was either eating or sleeping. They tell me some kind of strike. I don't know what is going on.
Should we do a live remote from the psych ward now at this point? Because
I thought that's what we've been doing for 15 years now.
Yes, you really can call in here about absolutely anything.
What the hell just happened?
The toll-free number here is 850. It was just so incoherent. It's funny, but it wouldn't make a good promo because it was so incoherent.
No, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's just one of those moments on Free Talk Live.
I wish maybe he'll call back and because not tonight, but because only one call per night. But maybe he'll call back and we can ask him why he was put in the psych ward in the first place.
And then he can talk about things.
No possible answer to that.
Well, there's a lot of possible answers. That's the thing. 855-450 free. 855-450-3733. You can bring up anything, even if you're crazy. It's Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Lifetime Grazed 100% grass-fed beef has the health benefits you seek. When compared to conventional beef, it offers good fats while virtually eliminating the bad. That's the result of cattle who never eat grain, ever. Rich in antioxidants, including vitamin E, C, beta-carotene, and CLA. No artificial hormones, antibiotics, or other drugs. For all our fresh, non-cooked products with only 100% grass-fed beef, go to MidasResources.com. Use voucher code GCN to get 30% off your order. MidasResources.com or find us on Facebook.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Teens radio show. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgoristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agorist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agorist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any tomfoolery. So go with AgoristHosting.com. And if you want to get your foot in the door with decentralized marketplaces, Agorist Hosting is now offering Open Bazaar hosting. Go to agoristhosting.com, click on the button that says Get Hosted. Agorist Hosting, that's A-G-O-R-I-S-T, hosting.com.
There's no better app for tracking the value of cryptocurrencies than CoinCap. I've had a lot of apps for tracking Bitcoin, but none that's ever been able to track 500 digital assets at once. Their best feature is the Altfolio. I love this thing. You enter how many Bitcoins, Ether, Dash, Doge, or whatever else you have, and it tells you how much your crypto is worth. You can watch yourself get rich. If you have crypto, go right now to coincap.io, or you can use the Apple Store or Google Play to get the app. I love CoinCap. coincap.io.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Uncertainty has become the talking point when it comes to financial markets. One thing is becoming certain: safe haven assets. Hard assets are now becoming the choice of informed investors. The most recognized and valued hard asset is gold. The highest performing asset this year is gold. Trust gold to protect and grow your IRA or 401k. Central banks and billionaires are doing the same thing. Choose a more stable asset that has tremendous upside potential. As these uncertain times threaten the markets, your decision to reduce your exposure to these markets before further negative effects to your portfolio would be well timed. Call 1-800-GOLD-IRA to transfer your existing IRA into an actual physical gold and silver IRA. American Bullion is the pioneer of gold IRAs. They handle all the details for you. Call 1-800-GOLD-IRA to get prepared. Start protecting and growing your IRA and 401k before the next crash. American Bullion. 1-800-GOLD-IRA.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial on in, toll free here, and bring up anything that you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. If you've got Bitcoin or Dash or Ether Classic, there's a bunch of different cryptocurrencies, actually, that you can use Jaxx to hold on to. It's the official wallet of Free Talk Live, JAXX.io. You can go to their website and download it for not just your phone, but also for your laptop or desktop, computer, tablet, even browser plugins. It's cross-platform, and it's a multi-cryptocurrency wallet. It's also got Shapeshift built right in there that makes it easy to change from one crypto to another. And this is something you talked about doing recently, Mark, where you've taken some of your Bitcoin and shifted it into other things, like Dash.
I got some Ethereum, yep.
So you go to Jaxx.io, get it there. It was created by Anthony DiOrio. He's a creator of CryptoKit, and they made it easy to back up your wallet and recover your funds with Jaxx. Jaxx is striving to give you command over your digital life. Coins, contracts, currencies, identity, and more. It's your digital command center in the palm of your hand. It's Jaxx, the official wallet of Free Talk Live, JAXX.io. Let's go to the phones, to your calls and thoughts. You can bring up anything you want. Still to come, we can talk more about Trump's budget proposal as well as what's going on in Venezuela. People are worried that the old people are going to be out in the streets dying after Trump's budget, but that's what's happening under socialism in Venezuela. Let's go to Libertarian Banker first, though, listening somewhere in the United States to LRN.FM. Hello, Banker.
Hey, guys. Man, that caller last segment, I think that was one of the Nigerian princes that called me and needed some money the other day.
Are they calling now?
Really? Couldn't understand that word that guy says. No. But anyway, I wanted to comment on a caller last night, and actually you guys are bringing up some relevant stuff tonight. Last night there was a caller that called in that claimed that the $20 trillion in federal debt doesn't matter. And his claim was that it was the unfunded liabilities that matter. And I agree with him on that point, but his logic for why the $20 trillion didn't matter was because it was, a year's worth or 2 years worth of GDP, I think. I can't remember what his number was.
He said it was about a year's worth. I looked it up. It was about GDP something, I think 17 was the number I saw, $17 trillion.
Okay.
I mean, that's god-awful. That means that the government took every single dime that you earned for a year and every output in the – I mean, that's a terrible way to measure it.
Yeah, the United States government stole 15 months from America.
That's if they were to pay it back.
That's pretty much the metric around the world that they use. The debt to GDP ratio, but in my opinion, that's a terrible way to look at it because that just means that the government would have to take all of that money.
It also suggests that the government owns that money. That the government
we owe them for that debt.
This polygon on a map, this organization that claims this territory on a map, can then claim the value of everything that's created in that territory. And that just goes to show just how nationalistic, chauvinistic, jingoistic our thinking is in this country.
It's a chauvinistic pig attitude.
The government steals everything it's got. It's nothing but a bunch of liars and thieves. And they've got you convinced. You know why they've got you convinced? Because in kindergarten, they sent you to their school that they stole money to open and then made you put your hand on your heart in order to pledge to their piece of fabric, and you've been indoctrinated your whole life. No wonder you accept this theft.
Don't you mean their hand on their heart?
Yeah, their hand on their heart. Right. They own my body. If they can claim the fruits of my labor, they in fact are claiming my entire body. Citizenship is slavery.
You keep that up, you're going to go into the psych ward.
Yeah, that's fine. If they don't give me water in 8 minutes.
And I wanted to just see, I brought this up before when I've called in the past, but I just want to bring this up one more time, that if the government was a household that made $52,000 a year, they would spend $64,000 a year. That means that they're putting $12,000 every year on a credit card, and they're already $312,000 in credit card debt. So tell me, who would loan money to somebody like that? So only if you can steal money Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I guess they must pay the debt back over time, these bonds and that sort of thing, but then they just replace it with new, greater debt?
Exactly, and every time they print one, that creates new debt on the Federal Reserve's balance sheet, which is more that has to be paid off. So you can't print your way out of this. It has to be stolen from people, from you and me, from our children, who is already being stolen.
The federal government doesn't even print money, though. They outsource it to private banks, operating as the Federal Reserve, and then they pay interest to those banks that they're borrowing the money from. They're not even. It's the banks creating the money. The federal government doesn't even do it. Now they do create coins. So they could conceivably create, say, $20 trillion coins and give them to the Federal Reserve and then pay off the debt that they have to these banks. But I imagine that would drive most of them into insolvency.
Exactly. So, the coercion behind it, that is the problem. If you want to set up a government, not a government, if you want to set up a currency and you want to print as much of the currency as you want, as long as you're not stealing to fund the payback of that currency or to fund your organization as you run that currency, that is completely fine. There's completely voluntary interaction. But as soon as the government becomes involved, everything's done at the barrel of a gun. And it's stolen from me, and it's stolen from my kid and her kid.
Well, even if you do create a currency and you offer it in the marketplace on a consensual basis, sometimes the government shows up with guns anyway, like they did with the Liberty Dollar, and they steal all of the gold and the silver that that's what happened back in 2007. They took it all.
That's why they call gold the currency of kings, because the kings are the ones who are ultimately going to come and take it.
Banker, any other thoughts you want to share tonight?
That's why Bitcoin is going to save the world. So thank you, guys.
I hope so. Thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you.
Crypto coin anyway.
Yeah, cryptocurrency is definitely going to save the world. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. Bitcoin, however, its future is, I would say, in question, even though the price is once again at a record high today. Yesterday, it got up to right around where it is now and then fell about $200 and then has recovered all the way back up to, again, record highs around 2,257 right now, according to Bitcoin Average.
Yeah, Bitcoin's price is doing great, and if the price is an indication of success, then everything's fine. I don't feel that way. I kind of feel like there's some danger on the horizon.
Well,
best I can tell, complaining isn't a solution, which is what most people are doing. Best I can tell, segregated witness is not a solution. Not to say that it couldn't be a solution, just to say that, well, how long has it been around?
That's a proposed change to the Bitcoin protocol.
And what's the implementation level? I mean, it's at about a third of what it needs to do.
Right. Yeah.
There's the Bitcoin Unlimited, and what are they calling it?
Emergent consensus.
Emergent consensus is a solution. Now that is
it's
basically
doing a little better, but not that much.
Yeah, it's about 80% of the way that it has to go to solve the problem. But there's a lot of people that really don't want that particular solution. So we'll see how it all goes.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch. I would liken it to, you're talking about how successful it is right now based on the price. I would liken it to sort of the United States and the fact that we are so wealthy and generally successful here, I think based on sort of the relative freedom that the U.S. had for so long. We're kind of coasting to some extent on all of the wonderful developments and things that were created out of that freedom, even as the government cranks down on us and becomes more oppressive.
Well, the state
over time.
It's a funny model. It's not like the United States is the only government in the world with a central nation state that attempts to run it in the form of Washington, D.C. Every other government has basically the same thing. So this is like a competition, a race between invalids.
Right.
And yeah, so the United States has, it's got one good leg, a nub, and a flipper, right? And so it's able to get ahead of the EU and the Russians, just that one half a step ahead, and they look like they're doing great. How much better could things be without this coercive top-down model that we have? If companies were able to provide goods and services without the restrictions that they currently have, I think we'd be a lot better off.
Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Free Talk Live.
Dash is digital cash, a digital currency designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime, for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is the first digital money that's governed by its users. Join Dash and help us build a better financial system for everyone. Find out more at dash.org. That's dash.org. Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy. Fees are low and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at dash.org.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
A civilian casualty is flattered to have been mistaken for a Hamas leader, and an asexually reproduced sea sponge is worried she's turning into herself. This news summary is best enjoyed in a state of leisurely repose, so sit back, relax, and let the waves of condensed news gently lap at your brain. This is the Onion Week in Review. Hoping to foster a lifelong connection to the airline, Delta announced the launch of its official alumni magazine, Flown, this week, a quarterly publication for people who have been passengers with the airline at some point in the past. A press release from Delta confirmed that the magazine will feature obituaries, wedding announcements, and profiles of prominent flyers that celebrate the shared experiences and interests of the airline's 900 million alumni.
I think it's a nice thing for Delta to do. I mean, it's always interesting to just skim through an issue, see what the old boarding group's up to. It kind of makes me nostalgic for the few hours back when I was on that flight to Tampa. Simpler days.
This is the Onion News Network.
DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photo, cell phone, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.freetalklive.com. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit Free Talk Live when you enter Amazon via shop.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Join us on the radio waves and bring up whatever's on your mind. Still to come, what is it like to be elderly in Venezuela? Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
Going back to the phones, to your calls and thoughts, but I do want to invite you to become a Free Talk Live amplifier over at amp.freetalklive.com. Last week, I did send out an email that was letting people know the AMP program's kind of been having a tough time over the last several years. It's slowly been hemorrhaging cash as we will get like a couple new signups every week, but we might lose a couple or three. So we'll lose a little bit of money out of the AMP program over time. And it had gotten to the point where we were down below 2,900, which is the monthly total that we'd had up until recently. And so I announced that on the air and said, hey, look, at some point, if this keeps going in this negative direction, I'm going to have to cut something out of the AMP program, which is not something I want to do. I'd rather be adding things to it than cutting from it. And folks stepped up this last week. A lot of people, I would say, and I'd say at least maybe 7 to 10 people came in and signed up. Normally, we might get 2 or something like that, 1 if we're lucky. So I think like 3 of them were brand new, and then several were former amplifiers, people who had amped, and then for whatever reason their life got complicated, budgets got tight, somebody's moving somewhere, got fired from a job, that kind of thing. So a number of folks came back on board. So thank you to everybody who signed up last week. It took us in the other direction. We're going in the positive direction now, adding to the AMP dollar total that you can see if you go to amp.freetalklive.com, bringing it up from below 2,900 to about 2,975 as of when I was doing them. I was processing through them last night. So thank you to folks who did step up. Hopefully we can continue that momentum. And
what's the highest AMP has ever been?
About 4,000.
Right, okay.
And it just has been sort of trailing off since then.
Yep.
And we're going to be doing some changes to the AMP program. We've talked about
adding some stuff.
Yeah, changing around how the money is allocated. So some people weren't necessarily fans of the satellite time that LRN has as far as the national or international satellites that we have over Africa and North and Central America. And so I want to break those out into their own fundraiser because I want those to continue, but we're going to try some new things with some of that money in the AMP program, like, doing different advertising for Free Talk Live, trying to bring some new internet listeners on, for instance. But the AMP program's generally about getting Free Talk Live out there, getting the ideas of liberty out there. And a while back, I added LRN.FM to that. And it looks like it'd be a good idea to break LRN.FM away from that and have 2 separate fundraisers going on. So anyway, well, that's something I'm working on. The LRN thing's going to be a Patreon because I don't want to copy the AMP system, and it's as complicated as it is already, and it'd be a good idea to make something new. So I'm working on a video for the Patreon thing behind the scenes. I started on that today. It's going to take some time to do the editing on that, but eventually we'll have something to announce there. So meanwhile, please get behind the show at the AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com, amp.freetalklive.com. You get perks in addition to feeling good because you're helping spread the number 29 most important radio show according to Talkers Magazine. We just got the Talkers rankings in yesterday for 2017. So we moved up from number 31 to number 29. And that was year number 8, Mark. We've been on that list since 2010.
Yeah.
2010.
Started out, I think, at number 98.
97 or 98 or something like that, yeah. So
but we were 2 or 3 years before that on the Talkers Top 250.
Yeah, which they don't do anymore. But yeah, we were on that too. So thank you to everybody who supports the show.
You know what? I don't think there would be a top 250 any longer. There's just not
that many of them.
National programs left.
That's probably true.
They broke out sports.
Well, they did local shows. They didn't just do national shows.
They didn't do nearly as many when we were on the top 250. So they could certainly bring in a whole bevy of local shows, but then it just shows the top 250 would show the dearth of new talent in talk radio.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Talk radio just isn't making the investments. It doesn't have the guts to bring on the young guys. If it's between Free Talk Live and some old Republican, well, a lot of times the program director and wherever whatever little podunk place it is going to say, it's just so much easier. I won't have to. The complaining old people, or whatever. But Free Talk Live brings a high level of service to stations, a high level of flexibility, and we bring controversy. Which, whether or not radio stations remember this, controversy is what gets ratings.
Yep, and so you can help us get on more radio stations by joining the AMP program and get perks like access to the AMP-only call-in lines, the AMP-only podcast, the AMP-only Facebook group, and you can do it with any major credit card via PayPal. as well as Bitcoin. So go to amp.freetalklive.com. Learn more about that there. That's ampamp.freetalklive.com. To the phones, to the fun. Hungary is where we go, where Dave is on the line. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi.
Hey.
Can I ask you to consider this coming Memorial Day, giving a shout out to an unsung hero of the Persian Gulf War of 1991. I was commander of an equipment recovery mission on Failaq Island, about 20 kilometers offshore Kuwait City. And a very valiant young Kuwaiti saved my life and the life of my troops in a minefield. This was carried in a number of newspapers. I'll give you the title. Take a look at it, and if you think it's newsworthy, I'd be real grateful if you gave this this young lady honorable mention.
I thought you said it was a young boy.
Lady.
Okay.
Okay. The best newspaper article is titled 13 Years Later. That is 13.
Yep.
13 years later, comma, soldier's cat headed back to Kuwait. The author is Ed Harris.
Okay.
Cat.
Got it.
That is
So what does the
Charlie Alpha
cat
Tango
have to
Cat.
do with a young person saving you from a minefield?
I didn't say it was a person. The cat saved our life. This made the papers.
Well, tell me
I think
about
you
it.
said it was a young boy first, then you said it was a... Well, anyway, go ahead.
No, I didn't say it was a young boy. I said it was a very valiant young Kuwaiti.
Okay, gotcha. So you meant a cat.
And
so,
it made the papers in Kuwait.
so
and
like, are you
several
saying
US
that, does the cat know where mines are buried, and you can like find your way out of a minefield by following a cat?
Well, kind of. Everything is in the newspaper
Okay,
article.
well, I don't know how easy it's going to be to pull that up.
I got it right here.
You did find it?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm asking you because you're here, right? Like you're on the phone with us, so why can't you tell us?
All right. You want the story? I can give it to you in 2-3 minutes. I don't know what your time frame is.
Yeah, as short as possible, please. Go ahead.
Okay, I was a United States Army chemical officer during the Persian Gulf War. My primary mission after the conflict was recovery of abandoned Iraqi equipment on Failaq Island, godforsaken little piece of desert about 20 kilometers offshore Kuwait City.
Okay.
I was in command of small contingent of U.S. troops and a somewhat larger cohort of Kuwaiti nationals and third country folks. The whole island was saturated with unexploded munitions. It was a pretty nasty place. We got orders to go down the south end of the island one day and pick up some radar equipment that our commanding general, General Charlie Getz, didn't want the French getting a hold of. We were working with a French engineer team, and we're kind of in competition for them for the choice bits of equipment. So I took my one of my squads, and about a kilometer from base camp, we saw something moving out ahead of us. Now, it was very, very dark. We were right in the plume of the Burgan field, oil fields, which were on fire. And it was so dark most of the day that you had to use a flashlight. And
because of the smoke from the burning oil?
Yeah.
Okay.
Burning oil.
Yeah.
I put the light out ahead of us, and I saw a little kitten. Kitten was batting something around, and this is all described in the newspaper. And on closer inspection, it looked to be either a Russian-made or a British-made cluster munition.
Oh dear!
Cluster bomblets are anywhere from the size of a golf ball, which you find in the British and Russian-made munitions, up to the size.
So
of
this
about
kitty
half
was
of
playing with an explosive device? Is that right? Hold on. I'm going to bring you back here. You can tell the rest of your story if you don't mind. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. A little kitty, apparently, helping people escape certain death in a
by
minefield.
playing with certain death.
We'll continue, and you can take control of the airwaves by bringing up whatever's on your mind, and we'll check in with what's happening in Venezuela in moments. It's Free Talk Live. Hour 2 coming up.
Bitcoin.com is of the opinion that the current Bitcoin core development team is not taking satisfactory steps to ensure the growth and advancement of Bitcoin in accordance with Satoshi's vision. As community efforts to resolve these problems have failed, it is necessary to resolve them with a different approach by using subreddit r/BTC instead of r/Bitcoin and running Bitcoin Unlimited. You are casting a vote against the current development team. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Imagine, if you will, a virtual world, a symbiotic economy with its own currency, where you can barter your services with others. Symbi.com is a marketplace of real people exchanging skills and services, from web developers, marketers, video production specialists, and teachers of all sorts, to gaming consulting or fitness coaching. Symbi.com is a vast world of people trading freely. Take my word for it, it's an adventure you can't afford to miss. Simbi.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darrell W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, May 23rd, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.15 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,260 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.3 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,182. Antiwar.com reports Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has a recurring problem with foreign descent occurring on foreign soil and can't seem to get through a visit to the United States without his bodyguards feeling obliged to assault political demonstrations. The State Department wasn't super thrilled with that, but Turkish officials are downright furious this time around, following the State Department saying they had concern about the beatdown of protesters, some of whom were waving a Kurdish organization's flag. Turkey has summoned the U.S. ambassador to deliver a handwritten protest to the U.S. government for daring to allow such protest in the first place. Turkey's foreign ministry has argued they want a full investigation into the circumstances whereby the U.S. allowed the public demonstration to take place, insisting it was a provocative action and that the demonstration was clearly unpermitted. The Erdogan government, of course, is unaccustomed to dealing with such protests, as people across Turkey are routinely disappeared into custody for even a hint of disloyalty towards the president. Still, an unfamiliarity with public dissent is hardly unique to Turkey among foreign leaders visiting the U.S., and seemingly everyone else is able to cope with seeing protests without sending a bunch of guys with batons to cudgel them into silence. When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more. UPI reports the U.S. Supreme Court on Monday issued a ruling that tightens U.S. patent laws and makes it more difficult for patent trolls to win damages in federal court. The High Court unanimously ruled that all patent lawsuits must now be argued and heard in whichever state the defendant resides, a significant change that blocks patent holders from filing in states that are more likely to rule in their favor. 8 of the 9 justices made the decision in T.C. Heartland v. Kraft, a case in which Kraft sued the flavored drink maker in a Maryland court, claiming patent infringement. T.C. Heartland unsuccessfully tried to get the case moved to Indiana, where it resides. Following the conclusion of the case, which ruled for Kraft, T.C. Heartland took its appeal all the way to the Supreme Court. Monday's ruling is particularly harmful to so-called patent trolls, companies or individuals that purchase patents with the sole intent of forcing other corporate entities to pay licensing or royalty fees to them. The issue of where patent cases are heard has often been a critical one. In the past, many plaintiffs filed their suits in states or districts that are historically friendly to patent holders, such as Texas and Maryland. In fact, nearly half of all patent infringement cases in the United States have been filed in East Texas Federal Court, more than the total number of cases seen in California, Florida, and New York combined. The newest member of the Supreme Court, Neil Gorsuch, was not involved in hearing or deciding the case. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports Fox News was hit with sexual harassment and discrimination lawsuits on Monday, adding to the catalog of complaints that has rattled the cable news network and its corporate parent, 21st Century Fox. New York City lawyer Douglas Wigdor filed lawsuits in federal court in Manhattan on behalf of Kathleen Fox, a Fox News radio shift editor who says she was sexually harassed and subjected to unceasing retaliation for complaining, and Naima Farrow, who maintains she was fired from her job as an accounts payable coordinator after telling supervisors she was pregnant. In a third case in the same court, Vidya Mann, a Fox News accounts receivable specialist, said she was taken on as a temporary employee but passed over for permanent jobs in favor of white co-workers. The new legal claims come as Fox News is already battling a series of lawsuits that led to the resignation of former CEO Roger Ailes, who died last week, star anchor Bill O'Reilly, and network co-president Bill Shine. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
The Subway restaurant chain has reacted with shock this week after executives discovered that many customers are apparently purchasing footlong sandwiches and eating the entire 12 inches by themselves. A spokesperson for the company addressed reporters this morning.
This is not how our products are intended to be consumed. Our footlong subs have always been meant to be shared among 2 or more friends. Eating an entire foot of food shouldn't be possible for most people, but they've been doing it somehow, and it needs to stop.
To encourage healthier eating habits, Subway is clarifying its marketing, adjusting language on menus and in television commercials like this one.
$5 footlongs? Wow, that's $2.50 per person.
Subway's corporate leadership says they were horrified to learn of the misunderstanding.
It's frightening. I mean, you don't see people eating entire pizzas by themselves. We even cut the footlongs in half into 2 regular-sized sandwiches before handing them to you. But I guess that wasn't clear enough.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. You may dial in toll free and take control of the airwaves here as we launch into the second hour of the program. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
And also, we'll go to your phone calls and thoughts. We've got Dave, who's still on the line with us here. He'd called in about an old war story from back in the first war of Iraq, I believe is what you had told us, Dave, that you were on some island outside of Kuwait City, which was full of munitions. You and your crew were assigned to go and pick up some equipment, and then you saw, I guess the whole island was basically on fire due to the oil that was there, or the oil was burning.
No. The fires were on the mainland. The smoke, we were directly in the plume, so it was
I see.
Almost black.
I see. Okay, so you were a lot of smoke.
However, the island had been bombed back into the Stone Age and had munitions all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
And so then you saw a kitty through the sort of you had lights that you were shining about, and you saw a kitty cat playing with some sort of unexploded ordnance?
Yes, it was a cluster bomblet. Now, these bomblets are small. They range in size anywhere from about the size of a golf ball up to about half the size of a beer can. Where you see one, there are usually a whole bunch of them around because these things are dropped by a main munition that's about the size of a Navy torpedo. Goes down by parachute about 1,000 meters over the ground. There's a bursting charge in it that scatters these things all over the place. When they hit the ground, each one of them has a chunk of plastic explosive in the middle that shoots out a cloud of flechettes and converts anything within about a 2-3 meter radius to hamburger.
Yikes!
Now, are these to take out the landing strips and that sort of thing? Because that's what I've heard they were for.
No, these are vicious. They're anti-personnel weapons.
Just plain old bombs.
Take out people.
Foxholes and troops in the open.
Gotcha.
So this one didn't explode, is what you're saying? This one little bomblet that the kitty...
I'd say about 10% of them, when they hit the ground, don't explode. Some of them are stable. You could probably pick them up and toss them around. Others, you touch with a whisker, and they'll blow up on you. So where you see one, that pretty much clues you into you're in the middle of a burst pattern.
Uh-oh. Okay.
And we saw this. I mean, we weren't really concerned about the health of the cat. We saw she was a kitten batting this thing around, and we figured, oh my God, we're in the middle of a burst pattern. I called a halt, and we very, very carefully retraced our steps, and nobody stepped on anything. If we had not seen the cat, I probably wouldn't be having this conversation because I was the lead guy in the squad. So we, in our after action review, we decided that if we hadn't seen the cat, at least one of us probably wouldn't be going home, or would be going home in a rubber bag in several pieces. So we figured this was an omen from God, good luck and everything, and we decided to try and identify the cat and bring her back with us, which was actually fairly easy. She had a marking on her back. It was a question mark. It looked almost identical to a question mark. There should be a picture in there somewhere, that newspaper article you have. In any case, next morning we set out some of our god-awful MREs, meals ready to eat, field rations they gave us. And there's a population of cats on the island that a few dogs. Actually, I never saw any dogs, and they didn't live very long for some reason out there.
Might be the bomblets.
But there's what?
Might be the bomblets.
No. There's an interesting story behind the dogs, but it's not time for that.
No.
I don't know if you want to interview me sometime in the future. I can tell you.
We don't generally do interviews, but it was an interesting story, and I appreciate you sharing it with us. So we do tend to be sort of anti-war here on Free Talk Live. But
I'm glad they were saved.
Yeah, we would rather you not have had to have been there in the first place.
I am the most anti-war person you'll meet. I'm libertarian conservative, but I've been in the middle of the war, and I'd really not like to see us get involved in another one. But that's another story.
That's true for a lot of people who've been in the military, that they get in thinking one thing, and then they finally realize how absolutely horrific that is. Hey, Dave, thank you for sharing the thoughts tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. Anytime you want to tell a story.
Can you give a shout-out on Memorial Day?
Well, we don't really do shout-outs, but I appreciate you telling us now, so thank you for the call. The toll-free number.
Remember the cat, and I can't even pronounce the cat's name. It's something to do with Arabian Nights. Scheherazade.
Kitty Bom Bom. Yeah.
Scheherazade.
Scheherazade.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. So the toll-free number here, 855-450, free like freedom. We've got Jesse on the line in California. Jesse, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian Johnson and Mark.
Hey, how you guys doing? I spoke to you guys before, different cast there. I just wanted to talk about the ban on the Jehovah's Witnesses in Russia.
This is news to me.
For us to do that to them here in America?
Well, first of all, we should find out a little bit more about the ban. I don't know, Mark, you want to pull that up, but what can you tell us about the ban in Russia?
Well, they got banned for being extremists, breaking up families.
Oh, and when you say breaking up families, you mean like if somebody joins the Jehovah's Witness, but the whole family doesn't join, that's kind of, they do the kind of the culty thing where they say you got to cut them off.
Shunning them.
Right? Shun them.
No, well, let's say I had a child, and that child no longer believes in the religion.
Mm-hmm.
I have to shun that child.
That's right.
Right. It's basically the same
It's my
thing.
understanding.
Yeah. So
I
Russia.
don't think that the banning is quite as thorough as it's as they might imagine. A friend of mine is Jehovah's Witness, was raised Jehovah's Witness, and doesn't believe that stuff anymore. And I'm not going to say that he's as close as he could be with his family, but then again, they're Jehovah's Witnesses, and maybe he doesn't want to be.
So you're saying you want that ban to happen in the United States?
Yes, because I'm the leader of the former Jehovah's Witness movement, and they're a bunch of liars. They brainwashed me, and I need to do something about it.
Do you think we should do that with other religions, or is it just Jehovah's Witnesses?
Well, let me get one at a time.
One at a time.
I feel like there's a Bitcoin joke in here somewhere.
Why is that?
About segregated witness.
And they won't stop worshiping. They'll just go underground.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't understand why you
World War II
care.
when they tried to round them up and gas them.
I mean, look, in the United States, as I'm sure you know, there's supposed to be the freedom of religion, and so if people want to have a crazy, shut off from the rest of the world religion, which excludes people and rejects people and shuns them, they should be free to do that. We understand the dangers to friends and families and relationships that these cults can provide, but ultimately that's part and parcel of the whole freedom idea. If you would be talking about banning that, you'd be talking about a major change to the concept of freedom of religion and completely abolishing that.
Well, they're a book-selling company.
Huh?
They make a profit off of these books they hand out.
Sure.
Who cares?
I mean, Scientology does some stuff too, but they're a religion, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, who cares? You don't have to buy their book, so don't buy their book. I think the best thing you can do is to talk about your experience, is to share, what it was like to be in this religion, the Jehovah's Witnesses. Tell people, put the word out there, whether it's by calling talk radio or blogging. As you said, you're part of an organization. What's the organization named?
We're not organized. We're actually anarchy right now. The former Jehovah's Witnesses.
So there's not an organization. How do you?
No, it's a free-for-all. Everybody fights.
Doesn't sound like much fun to be in that group either.
Nope.
You're saying the former Jehovah's Witnesses fight.
That's one of the problems with being an organization that's against another organization, is that you have nothing cohesive except that you dislike the other organization.
Oh, yeah, we know what that's like here in Keene.
Yeah,
There's
but
a group of people like that here.
what you really need to do is you need to provide a way to help people who are in the Jehovah's Witnesses break out.
Hey, Jesse, thanks for the call tonight. Appreciate it. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Yeah, the group here in town is so disorganized they couldn't even keep their website online. Too bad. It's Free Talk Live. More coming up.
If you're a sleep apnea sufferer who's on the go, go to your phone. Because if you give us a call right now, you'll be able to try the world's first portable mini CPAP device absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. It's the Transcend Mini CPAP, an engineering marvel that's as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. Its unique design is so small and so light, you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. No more dragging around a big, bulky CPAP. Even better, now you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights by calling minicpap.com, 1-800-768-3138. Transcend is FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. You can also add a battery pack that's as tiny as a deck of cards. So now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't wait. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-768-3138. That's 1-800-768-3138.
Hi there, I'm Bob Eubanks. As part of Hollywood for a long time, I've seen my fair share of celebrities get in trouble with the IRS. Well, there's one name I trust, the Tax Defense Group. They're the most trusted name in tax. So if you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS, you really need to call my friends at the Tax Defense Group. Ignoring the IRS is not the solution. They can garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts, seize your home or business. But the Tax Defense Group could put a stop to all of that and tailor a program that would reduce your tax debt to pennies on the dollar. You gotta love that. So don't just take my word for it. Call them. Find out for yourself. They offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. And they're open 24 hours a day because they know that tax debt doesn't sleep either.
Call now for your free and confidential tax analysis from the most trusted name in tax. Call 800-361-6907. 800-361-6907.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll-free. Join us on the radio waves. Our number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you tonight, you've got Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
Freedom's Phoenix is a liberty-oriented news aggregation site. Do you want the newest and freshest stories and perspective on current events from those who value liberty? Well, freedomsphoenix.com has that. Their daily dispatch is the best way to stay up to date on science, technology, historical findings, liberty news, government overspending, and the rise of the police state. Freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. That's freedomsphoenix.com. You can bring up anything that you want. Coming up, we've got the latest out of Venezuela. The big scare that some people are talking about is this Trump budget. They're worried that it's going to take food out of the mouths of the elderly. Well, I can tell you that's happening in Venezuela, and they've had all kinds of socialist programs for a long time. They've had, lots of different wealth redistribution, nationalizations, all kinds of stuff there. And the elderly in Venezuela are basically hunting around through garbage for food at this point. We can tell you more about that coming up here. You can bring up what you want. Let's go to Sarah. She's in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Hey, Sarah.
Yeah, I heard about the UK bombing, and it is a great tragedy how the teenagers got killed like that.
Oh yeah.
But I just want to bring up this point that the teenagers they killed themselves more while driving around than
nice
these,
segue.
Random bombing.
Yeah,
huh?
That's true. That's a nice segue there.
Nice segue is what he said.
Well, it's true. You know that the auto wrecks killing teenagers have been number one. That's how they number one of getting killed for teenagers since the 1980s.
I don't think a lot of teenagers have died on Segways, though.
Well, and then also, so you know what? I mean, the media, they blow it up like it's a big deal, but these bombings don't happen all that much. But it's sensationalism. Since it happens very rarely, so they got to make a big deal about it. And then we got a bigger problem of all the children under 13. Our number one killer is the auto wrecks. It doesn't, no matter how much they tie them up in the back in the car seat, it's what kills them most.
Well, that's because they're not likely to die. I mean, if you make it past year, I don't know, 2 or 3, then you're not very likely to succumb to, illnesses or childhood diseases, these sorts of things. They're just rare because you're in the early part of your life. The reason I would presume that children are killed at a lower rate in cars than, say, 80-year-olds are. But no one cares about the 80-year-olds because they've lived a full life. And the children's statistics, cars are far more deadly because, it's the only thing that's killing them.
I wouldn't fret too much, Sarah. This is a problem that will solve itself with self-driving cars.
Yep, self-driving cars are on the way, Sarah.
Well, you know what? I just hope that, they come out with it pretty soon instead of yo-yoing around. All they keep talking about it is talking about it. But, I met, kids, like teenage kids that, I remember I was in a car wreck when I was a baby. I'm talking to a 13-year-old, and they remember that car wreck.
How can that even be possible? Does anybody really remember stuff from when they're a baby?
Some people do.
Wow.
I do. I remember when I was, my mom would just throw me on the floor, and then she would check my diapers. I remember all that. And I was trying to tell her, hey, don't be throwing me on the floor, man.
She threw you on the floor? That explains a lot.
You mean like a DDT?
No, you don't have to. You have to put the baby on the floor. You have to lay the baby on the floor to change the diapers, right?
Yeah.
Well, she just threw me. I mean, she's just like, I was like a jelly.
That explains
I was just thrown on the floor, and I'm like, I couldn't talk. I was trying to yell.
Never throw a baby on the floor.
No
Thank you for the
throwing.
call, Sarah.
And then I threw it on the ground.
What is that?
Look it up on YouTube. It's a song.
Okay. The toll-free number, if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. It must have been absolutely terrifying what happened at this concert in the UK with what are now apparently at least 22 people who have died as a result of this bombing, that now police are in the streets, not just police, but soldiers, according to TheGuardian.com. Soldiers are being sent onto Britain's streets to help the police, they say, and a second terror attack may be imminent following the Manchester concert bombing, according to the Prime Minister over there, Theresa May. They raised the threat level from severe to critical for the first time since July of 2007, meaning that, quote, not only that an attack remains highly likely, but a further attack may be imminent. Unquote. May said that she didn't want to unduly alarm people, but military personnel would be present at public events and key sites under police command. She said it could not be ruled out that the attacker, named as Salman Ramadan Abedi, was working as part of a terrorist group. According to the Wall Street Journal,
what did they say about that?
She
Couldn't
says
be ruled out.
It could not be ruled out that
and ISIS is also claiming credit.
ISIS is claiming credit for
ISIS
the
will claim
attack.
credit for a toaster oven that catches fire.
Speaking from Downing Street after an emergency Cobra meeting, May said the Cobra. Wasn't that the bad guy in G.I. Joe?
Also a former caller.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't heard from him since the 2012 election, have we?
Cobra Commander, yeah.
Whatever happened to that? He was going to run again.
Call in and be like, I claim.
He was supposed to run again in 2016.
Got a real life?
I don't know. Maybe Megatron took him out.
He didn't have anything to do with this attack or something. I don't know.
Speaking from...
good.
I can't
it's
do
hard
it
to do that
nearly
voice.
as well. Yeah,
That's a hard voice to do. Speaking from Downing, the guy who originally did it passed away years ago.
Oh, really?
Chris Latta. He was also the voice of Starscream in the Transformers. Oh. And I don't know if he died of AIDS or whatever, but he died a long time ago.
My favorite voice acting voice is the one from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Krang. There's a video on how the guy came up with the voice. It's amazing.
The Starscream from the new movies, just sucks in comparison to the Starscream of
course.
the cartoons.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, there's just some things that can't be matched.
Yeah.
This did what's Michael
Bay?
No, not
The
Michael
director?
Bay, not the director. The guy who did Optimus Prime's voice.
Oh, Peter Cullen.
Peter Cullen, right. They've run him through the digitizing thing or whatever.
Yeah.
They take every single syllable so
That's
that they
right.
can always do his voice forever.
They sure
more.
did.
So what I want to know is why isn't there his voice on GPSs and phone search? I don't know.
I want
to
It's a good
download.
question.
I want to download.
They've got Elvis, right?
I want they've got Elvis. They've got Mr. T on the GPS.
That's awesome.
They've
Turn
got all
left,
sorts
fool.
of ones. Pretty much.
A pity a fool don't turn right.
Police reported ahead, fool.
I would rather have. Now, are those free? Can you download?
Yeah,
those for free?
absolutely. Waze app.
It's Waze does
Yeah,
that. Okay, I need to look into that.
But Optimus Prime as a GPS would be a great one.
Yeah, it would. It really would. So
it is one of the greatest voiceovers.
He's a classic voice,
And they always have the beginning of the trip too, and you could have them, like you started your thing like
roll out.
Yeah, exactly.
Autobots,
You get
roll
pumped.
I'd be surprised if that doesn't exist. Have you already looked for it? Do you
I
know
have,
for a
yeah,
fact?
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe someday. The toll-free number here is 855-450 free. I hear they're cranking out a 5th Transformers live-action movie.
I wonder if it'll be as bad as the other 4.
They've been pretty bad. They really have.
Jack loves them.
Yeah, well, I mean,
He has
transforming robots,
he has
things
no
go
threshold,
boom.
right?
I mean,
boom. Hey!
More coming up here in moments. You can take control of the airwaves. It's Free Talk Live. 855-450 free.
Ted Anderson telling you about Jordan Rubin's Beyond Organic Green-Fed Raw Cheddar Artesian Cheese featuring whole milk created through ancient dairy breeding, unpasteurized, untreated whole milk on the same farm the cows graze, containing natural sources of omega-3s, CLA protein, calcium, probiotics, and enzymes. I have never tasted cheese this good, and you need to try it. Contact your longevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
The answer to being in control of your own healthcare is freedom from insurance. Become part of a group of self-pay patients that come together to share in each other's medical expenses. Individual share amounts begin at $107 a month and $347 for families. Choose from 3 health-sharing programs. Holistic treatments may be eligible for sharing. See guidelines. Discount programs available for dental, vision, and pharmacy. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Phone records, financial and location data, Prism, Tempora, X-Keyscore, Boundless Informant. Hey, y'all, Scott Horton here for offnow.org. Now, here's the deal. Due to the Snowden revelations, we have a great opportunity for a short period of time to get some real rollback of the national surveillance state. Now, they're already trying to tire us by introducing fake reforms in the Congress. And the courts, they betrayed their sworn oaths to the Constitution and Bill of Rights again and again, and can in no way be trusted to stop the abuses for us. We've got to do it ourselves. How? We nullify it at the state level. It's still not easy, but the Off Now project of the 10th Amendment Center has gotten off to a great start. I mean it. There's real reason to be optimistic here. They've gotten their model legislation introduced all over the place, in state after state. I've lost count, more than a dozen. You're always wondering, yeah, but what can we do? Here's something important, something that can work if we do the work. Get started cutting off the NSA support in your state. Go to offnow.org.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Pure Life Water, helping you drink better and live better by providing a zero-calorie alternative to sugary drinks. Visit us at nestle-purelife.us. When kids are playing, they often don't want to stop to keep hydrated. So send them out with a bottle of water and encourage them to take frequent drink breaks, or call them inside for a quick sip. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on-demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long-distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu 641-793-9660. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Talk Live. You may dial in toll-free, and you can take control of the airwaves by bringing up anything that you want. Our number, again, 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. Skype username for you is LRN.FM, and I want to let you know about Bitcoin.com. They've recently reported that Bitcoin transaction fees have increased by more than 1,200% since 2015. To many Bitcoin proponents, the current fee market is moving way too fast, making Bitcoin unusable for certain transactions. In addition, the fee market and slow confirmation times have increased the tension concerning the block size debate. If there are wallets with low amounts of Bitcoin that can't cover those fees, those become virtually unspendable. And this problem is not getting any better as the price of Bitcoin goes up. As the price of Bitcoin goes up, the fees are going up too. Plus, you've got all these people competing on these fees because Bitcoin is basically at full capacity at the moment. It's a wonderful technology, but the current programmers seem to be holding it back. And Bitcoin.com's been reporting on that for a while. You can go there; they've got a great news site. Maybe you are brand new to Bitcoin, you want to learn more about it. It's a great place to start, and it's a great place to go if you're old school into Bitcoin. Bitcoin.com. As we continue here, soldiers are being deposited into the streets of Manchester out in the UK after a bombing, a horrifying bombing that happened, I think it was last night at an Ariana Grande concert. 22 at least are dead, many more injured. And speaking from Downing Street, Prime Minister Theresa May said the investigations of the security services and police have, quote, revealed it's a possibility we cannot ignore that there is a wider group of individuals linked to this incident. The Prime Minister said, quote, the police have asked for authorization from the Secretary of State for Defense to deploy a number of military personnel in support of their armed officers. This means some armed police officers guarding events will be replaced by soldiers in an operation codenamed Temperer. It's the first time that the operation, which was first revealed in 2015, has been put into effect. The plan is believed to allow up to 5,000 troops to be deployed in support of the police, replacing armed officers at many sites to free them up for patrols in key areas. So yes, you literally have military in the streets in the United Kingdom. Is that going to stop the bombings from occurring?
Well, I don't see how. If somebody really wants to bomb someplace, they've got the guy, right?
Yeah, especially since they can hide him in those gigantic hats they have, right?
The bobby hats. They have a guy.
Or the Royal Guard, the ones with the really big, the big furry ones and the red outfits.
I would guess that they would propose that they have the guy, and if there are more, that they will hunt them down as time goes by. I don't think the soldiers do anything except sort of make some people feel good.
That's what I think about this. I think that it's all just about the image of the state trying to make people believe that they're actually out there protecting them. When, I don't know what size the bomb was that was used in this particular case, but presumably it was able to be smuggled in a backpack or whatever. I suppose private security at events could clamp down and could do more thorough searches of the people coming into concerts. Certainly, it's not uncommon. I mean, having been to a number of shows over the years, it's not uncommon to be frisked. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but I've seen it happen where security will give you a pat down before you come in, or they'll check a backpack. I've had that happen at raves where ostensibly they're looking for drugs or weapons,
or bottled water.
Or bottled water, where they can sell it to you for $8 a bottle.
That's what it comes. That's what it is at the airport. I mean, what is the TSA except a scam to sell $3 bottles of water at newsstands? Come on.
Well, they
They've
are
never
also
caught anything.
They're also charging those people a hell of a lot of rent too, so they have to have high prices.
There you go.
In the airport. But back to the story here.
But they can get high prices because people's water's being taken from them.
Police and security services are urgently seeking to establish if the Manchester suicide bomber who killed at least 22, including several children — again, it was an Ariana Grande concert, probably average age if you exclude the parents at that show is going to be, under 12 would be my guess — was acting on his own, or was he linked to a wider organization? The killer was named by Greater Manchester Police as Salman Abedi after he was first named by U.S. security sources. Abedi was known to police and security services, although was considered a peripheral figure. Greater Manchester Police Chief Constable Ian Hopkins said, quote, "The priority remains to establish whether he was acting alone or as part of a network." The investigation is understood to be focusing on whether Abedi was directly supported by other conspirators or built the bomb himself via instructions obtained over the internet. The device that he used is described as homemade and crude, although it was stable enough to be transported and exploded with devastating effect. It is believed to have been constructed in Britain. Oh, okay, so he was a suicide bomber. Okay, that's something that this is the first time I've read anything about the story. And so I guess that's how they were able to identify him.
I see.
He's dead.
Bits of them.
Yeah. Let's go to your call and your thoughts here. We can tell you a little bit more about the bombing in Manchester, but we've got Dave on the line in New Hampshire, and I believe this is this Ridley Report, Dave?
Something along those lines.
Dave Ridley, go ahead. You're on Free Talk Live.
You guys haven't talked about J.P. Phillips' arrest yet, have you?
You're referring to a person who is a police accountability activist in New Hampshire. Yeah, he was arrested over the weekend. I understand that it was about a warrant for ostensibly filing a false police report with the city of Manchester at some point. I'm not sure when that was, but apparently they did issue a warrant for his arrest, and he was arrested and bonded out.
I did hear Rochester police say pretty much exactly that. Now, he was arrested while he was out cop blocking. The Manchester police put out a warrant, but Rochester police were the ones that arrested him. I guess they were the first to come in contact with him after the arrest.
Technically, he's actually no longer involved with cop block because he can't get along, play nice with others. So Cop Block has basically disconnected from him, and he started his own organization called New England Cop Chasers. But just to correct that.
On his blog, he said that he was arrested for that the false police report they claim he filed was, in fact, the visit that he made to the Manchester Police Department to file a complaint against the Manchester Police Department.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what is a little bit unusual and significant in this. I know that people oftentimes will say that, yes, it's dangerous to file a complaint with the police or that it's useless or something like that. But I don't think I've ever actually heard of anyone being arrested for going to the police and complaining to them.
Yeah, it's different. JP, a lot of people really don't like him up here, and he's not a libertarian for what it's worth.
I kind of wonder how those complaints were phrased.
Yeah, I don't know either, because JP has a problem with the truth, and that's one of the reasons why he doesn't have good relationships with a lot of people. I tend to be pretty forgiving and understanding that he's got some problems. And ultimately, I'm willing to work with the people who are out there in the streets doing the police accountability work.
JP also likes to, scream obscenities at the police.
Yeah, I don't agree with.
I don't think going into this police station screaming obscenities at them about, a complaint is probably going to get you very far.
I don't agree with his tactics personally. They're not mine. Mine might have changed over the years. I've kind of softened a little bit as I've gotten to know some of the officers as human beings. But anyway, there's a lot of people who are not going to get behind him because he's burned a lot of bridges, and apparently nobody in Manchester even came out to assist in any way, shape, or form for him. So
he's kind of out on his own in a sense.
Yeah.
However, we don't have to pay his salary and underwrite anything that he does. No matter how good the police are, we're still being forced to underwrite their activities, and so that you got to be pretty bad as a police, or he's got to act pretty badly to outdo someone.
Dave, if there's more you wanted to share, you're welcome to hang on. Dave Ridley from RidleyReport.com. This is Free Talk Live.
My golden retriever Sundance is a lot more playful now. She has more pep and energy.
Tons of energy. Happy the rescue dog is happy the healthy dog.
Petey is having fun again. He's got a shiny coat and a good healthy weight.
Molly's been having 4 scoops a day. She pushes her little bowl all the way across the room, emptying every last single crumb. She has slimmed down and gotten this puppy look.
She's got life. She's got energy.
We get asked all the time when we're at shows, how do you get your dog so healthy and shiny and glossy? DINOVITE.com.
859-428-1000.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dinovite is nutrition. Just feed your dog right.
Do the Dinovite.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000. Dinovite for life.
DINOVITE.com.
Homeowners have much more to worry about than just making their mortgage payment. One of our biggest expenses can be when unexpected repair bills hit us at home. Can you afford to repair or replace your home heating system? What about when your air conditioning stops working this summer, or worse, a major plumbing problem or large appliance that just stops working? Well, with National Home, you can say goodbye to repair bills. That's right. If you own a home, you could stop paying for these costly repairs. Best of all, call now to get your home protected and 1 month of repair coverage for free. Just call 800-887-3022. Simply call our 24/7 repair hotline and pay nothing for covered repairs. Get total protection for your home's major appliances and systems so you have no more costly repair bills. Just call 800-887-3022 and never pay for repairs again. Get your home protected against costly repair bills right now. Call 800-887-3022. That's 800-887-3022. 800-887-3022.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us right here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Joining you here tonight in studio, you've got Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
We're going back to your phone calls and thoughts. Do want to remind you about how to help support Free Talk Live. You just shop with us by going to shop.freetalklive.com. There's Amazon links there, Amazon US, UK, Canada. You go into the right Amazon for you. Free Talk Live gets a portion of your purchase. Otherwise, Amazon keeps it all. So it's up to you. If you want to help us out and get your online shopping done, just start at shop.freetalklive.com.
Please do. But, Ian, aren't there other retailers there, too?
There are. There's a few others of Walmart, but almost nobody ever goes.
Have we ever gotten a check from Walmart?
I don't think so.
I don't remember that happening either.
Maybe once, very small, like a year ago or something like that. But
and Newegg's there, and that's...
Newegg's there.
Lots of people use that.
Yeah, but they give us very, very little compared to Amazon. So Amazon's really the only one worth really talking about a lot because they give us 7 to 8% usually of every purchase. Unless it's an electronic device, then it's only like 4%. But still, 7 to 8% on a purchase is a pretty good commission just for giving them a lead, basically.
Lots of you people do lots of purchasing through Amazon.
A lot of people do.
Do it through our link at shop.freetalklive.com.
Thanks for that.
Bookmark it, please.
Dave is in New Hampshire. Dave Ridley from RidleyReport.com. You're calling about a relatively unpopular police accountability activist who has finally gotten arrested. Surprising that it has taken this long, given his demeanor of how he interacts with the police. He's fairly caustic, I guess you could say. He's angry, and he's done a lot of police accountability activism.
Probably more than everybody in the state combined.
Yeah, he's that's why I give the guy credit where credit is due. He's a doer when it comes to getting out in the streets and holding the police accountable. It's just that unfortunately he's not good at getting along with others, and so he's basically alienated just about everybody that he's ever worked with. There's a couple of newer folks who are in the area who he hasn't yet burned bridges with. But it's only a matter of time. But anyway, Dave, you say he was arrested over the weekend for filing a police report that was false. Was there more that you wanted to share about that? Do we have Dave?
Charge was filing a false police report.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think our duty as free staters is to create an umbrella under which the people of New Hampshire can live with relative safety from their government, right? And so that means, to me, all the people of New Hampshire, if possible, should be as safe as possible from their government. They don't have to be someone that I agree with or I like their demeanor, or that's nitpicking compared to the crime that is committed just by a police officer taking the job and sucking the taxpayers for $80,000 a year to do his job.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, and unfortunately, everybody's time is limited, so there's only so much time that one person can spend on another person's case.
Right, activists get paid nothing. Police officers, like you pointed out, get paid $80,000 a year, and prosecutors get significantly more. So you're arrayed against this very well-funded machine.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, if I tend to agree with you, Dave, that people should be less discriminatory. I find that the attitude that some of the people in the activist movement have of being just kind of nasty towards people who don't agree with them 100% is a little off-putting, but that's life. I mean, people don't get along, and I just kind of, the nice thing about being here is that there are enough people who are here that you don't have to associate with them all. There are enough activists who've moved to New Hampshire who are, doing things here that if some of them don't like you, and some of them don't like me, a bunch of them don't, they don't like my activism style or who I choose to date or whatever, and, too bad for them. It's fine. I've got all kinds of people who do appreciate what I do, and I can spend time with them. So, but if you burn every bridge that that you're on, that's going to leave you in a pretty cold place when something finally does happen to you. I mean, that's just the reality.
Yeah, he hasn't burned the one to me yet, but I would like to think that if he had, I'd still be raising concerns about him being arrested. That's the way we should do it.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. That's absolutely true. Unfortunately, as far as I'm concerned, I've got a lot of projects on my plate, and this isn't a priority for me. So I'm glad that you've called in to talk about it, because I've been in the middle
keep us updated on it.
of editing video. So that's what I've been up to. Dave, anything else?
No, that's it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Yeah, I mean, it's some people will look at the drama up here and they'll complain about it. Oh, there's drama in New Hampshire. People don't get along. Well, guess
you gotta
what?
have people to have drama.
Yeah, guess what? We've got the largest liberty movement in the world. We've got an active migration of libertarians. People are showing up, to New Hampshire every week across the state. And more people, now that it's warm out, are going to move now. People are planning, I know a handful of folks at least are planning on moving in June, right around when the Porcupine Freedom Festival and the Somalia Fest are happening. And I'm just talking about moving to this area. So there are people, again, across the state. Not everybody gets along, but that's part and parcel of people. That's just how they are. And if you look at other organizations, Cop Block, you look at the Libertarian Party, there's infighting in all of these organizations.
Well, nobody hates libertarians like libertarians.
It's just people. I'm sure you find the same crap, the same petty behavior within, the Democrats or the Republicans or whatever other.
Libertarians are a bit more contentious. I'm not saying that doesn't occur. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think that libertarians, by their nature, are a bit more contentious. When
Why?
What's that?
Why?
When somebody claims to be a libertarian, what's the first thing that goes through your mind? Well, I wonder what issue they're not libertarian on. And there's a little Rolodex you run through your brain trying to figure out, oh, yeah, exactly. How do you feel about the military? How about the drug war?
Immigration.
Yeah. Right. You're not trying to find that the 99% of things that you agree with this person on. You're trying to find that 1%. And I think that we're like that. And when you get a bunch of us together, that we tend to be like that. I think we need big, loose organizations and small, tight ones at the same time, and that'll just make things better for us.
I think more choices is a good thing. So having Cop Block and then having the New England Cop Chasers is a good thing. That means that we have different groups out there doing kind of similar things. If people can't all get along, that's fine. They should split up and do their own thing the way they want to do it. I think that's a good thing. I think that it's healthy.
Let's just ban everybody, right?
I think it's healthy when these schisms occur. And the guy he's talking about, J.P. Freeman, is one of those controversial characters, and people tend to feel very strongly about him. Usually, in his case, in a negative way. It's very rare that you'll see someone feeling strongly in a positive way about him, and that has to do with the way he treats people and handles them. And I think that he's a good person. He's
more controversial than you are. So imagine what it's like for people that are sitting out there. And now you can see what it might be like seeing this character run around.
I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he really does want to hold the police accountable, and I think that
he's dedicated.
Yeah, so kudos to him for doing, the work that he has done. I appreciate that, and I've been out on the streets with him countless times, just because we both live here in the Keene area. But ultimately, it's tough because I wouldn't ostracize him. I was ostracized by some people, and the people, they'll say like, oh, well, you need to ostracize JP because he's a liar, or he.
Isn't that the way ostracization works, though? I mean, that if you feel strongly enough about ostracizing somebody, that you should ostracize somebody who doesn't ostracize that person?
Sure.
Isn't ultimately that
I'm not
the way
one
it
of
works?
those kind of people, though. I'm the kind of person who I'm willing to work with folks who come out, right? So we're in an activist movement, and there are very few activists. There just aren't that many. I mean, in New Hampshire, there's a lot.
People would rather argue about how to do activism than do activism.
Then get out there and do it, right. I like the people that use the fact that JP exists as their excuse to not do Cop Block. I find that pathetic because he doesn't have to be where you are. He is not even in the same city as most of the people who despise him. But yet they're not going out doing police accountability activism. JP's the one who's doing it. And, we need a more, I guess, vibrant cop-blocking movement in New Hampshire. And it's not here. Huh?
What's it going to achieve?
Police accountability.
How so?
Exposing people to knowing their rights, for instance. I go out on the streets
It's good for people to know their rights.
I
sure.
go out on the streets every year in the college neighborhood here in Keene, New Hampshire, which is a college town. Keene State College is here. And I go in the college streets on like Thursday or Friday or Saturday night. Usually I bring Jazzy, the studio beast, out with me, and we hand out hundreds of flyers to these college students, which are all about Know Your Rights information, giving them information about how to handle police encounters, which the longer you exist in this world, especially as a drunk college student, the higher your likelihood of having a police encounter is. So it's important information to get out there, and they really do appreciate it. There's more coming up here, 855, 450, free. This is Free Talk Live.
Everyone has something in their lives or just about themselves that they want to change, from trying to lose weight to becoming more motivated at work. Change is difficult, but the good news is no matter what, you don't have to go through it alone. Hypnotherapy can help you remove negative subconscious thoughts that keep you from achieving your goals. Never rely on just willpower again. Contact us at afterhourshypnotherapy.com today for your free consultation. Or contact Melvin Marsh at 678-658-8483.
Bitcoin.com recently reported Bitcoin transaction fees have increased by more than 1,200% since 2015. To many Bitcoin proponents, the current fee market is moving way too fast, making Bitcoin unusable for certain transactions. The fee market and slow confirmation times have also increased the tension concerning the block size debate. However, if there are wallets with low amounts of Bitcoin that can't cover the fees, they become virtually unspendable. Learn more at news.bitcoin.com. That's news.bitcoin.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, May 23rd, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.15 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,260 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.3 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,182. Antiwar.com reports Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has a recurring problem with foreign descent occurring on foreign soil and can't seem to get through a visit to the United States without his bodyguards feeling obliged to assault political demonstrations. The State Department wasn't super thrilled with that, but Turkish officials are downright furious this time around, following the State Department saying they had concern about the beatdown of protesters, some of whom were waving a Kurdish organization's flag. Turkey has summoned the U.S. ambassador to deliver a handwritten protest to the U.S. government for daring to allow such protest in the first place. Turkey's foreign ministry has argued they want a full investigation into the circumstances whereby the U.S. allowed the public demonstration to take place, insisting it was a provocative action and that the demonstration was clearly unpermitted. The Erdogan government, of course, is unaccustomed to dealing with such protests, as people across Turkey are routinely disappeared into custody for even a hint of disloyalty towards the president. Still, an unfamiliarity with public dissent is hardly unique to Turkey among foreign leaders visiting the U.S., and seemingly everyone else is able to cope with seeing protests without sending a bunch of guys with batons to cudgel them into silence. When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more. UPI reports the U.S. Supreme Court on Monday issued a ruling that tightens U.S. patent laws and makes it more difficult for patent trolls to win damages in federal court. The High Court unanimously ruled that all patent lawsuits must now be argued and heard in whichever state the defendant resides, a significant change that blocks patent holders from filing in states that are more likely to rule in their favor. 8 of the 9 justices made the decision in T.C. Heartland v. Kraft, a case in which Kraft sued the flavored drink maker in a Maryland court, claiming patent infringement. T.C. Heartland unsuccessfully tried to get the case moved to Indiana, where it resides. Following the conclusion of the case, which ruled for Kraft, T.C. Heartland took its appeal all the way to the Supreme Court. Monday's ruling is particularly harmful to so-called patent trolls, companies or individuals that purchase patents with the sole intent of forcing other corporate entities to pay licensing or royalty fees to them. The issue of where patent cases are heard has often been a critical one. In the past, many plaintiffs filed their suits in states or districts that are historically friendly to patent holders, such as Texas and Maryland. In fact, nearly half of all patent infringement cases in the United States have been filed in East Texas federal court, more than the total number of cases seen in California, Florida, and New York combined. The newest member of the Supreme Court, Neil Gorsuch, was not involved in hearing or deciding the case. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports Fox News was hit with sexual harassment and discrimination lawsuits on Monday, adding to the catalog of complaints that has rattled the cable news network and its corporate parent, 21st Century Fox. New York City lawyer Douglas Wigdor filed lawsuits in federal court in Manhattan on behalf of Kathleen Fox, a Fox News radio shift editor who says she was sexually harassed and subjected to unceasing retaliation for complaining, and Naima Farrow, who maintains she was fired from her job as an accounts payable coordinator after telling supervisors she was pregnant. In a third case in the same court, Vidya Mann, a Fox News accounts receivable specialist, said she was taken on as a temporary employee but passed over for permanent jobs in favor of white co-workers. The new legal claims come as Fox News is already battling a series of lawsuits that led to the resignation of former CEO Roger Ailes, who died last week, star anchor Bill O'Reilly, and network co-president Bill Shine. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
After excitedly posting an image of a Lamborghini Rebenton to his Facebook account earlier this afternoon, 38-year-old little boy Nick Weber talked to Onion reporters about his passion for fast cars.
When I saw that car, I was like, whoa, it was so cool. I had to show it to all my friends. I like red cars the best, but only ones that are really, really fast. I can't wait to get one when I'm older. I'm going to get the fastest car in the whole world.
The Weber also frequently posts about his other interests, which include motorcycles, fighter jets, and Marvel superhero Iron Man. The nearly 40-year-old small child confirmed that sports cars are his favorite, and the picture of the bright yellow Lamborghini has already garnered 15 likes and 9 comments from other enthused middle-aged children who are friends with Weber on the social networking site.
My best friend Bradley, he sent me a picture of a blue convertible that's so awesome. It has these big wheels and even has a racing stripe on it.
After watching several online videos of fast cars and eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch, the home-owning little tyke went to his room to take a nap.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free, join us here, bring up what you want. Manchester bombing now has resulted in the military taking to the streets in the UK. Also, the latest from Venezuela. We can talk about all that. You can bring up anything you want as well. 855-450. Free is our toll-free number, 855-450-3733. And joining you here in our Keene, New Hampshire studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
We're going to go back to your phone calls here in a moment. We were talking about schisms, and I was making the statement that I believe that they're good, that they're healthy, that they inevitably are going to happen when groups grow to a certain size. And I overheard you guys, it was in the other room, but I overheard you guys talking about the potential split in Bitcoin. So schisms don't just happen in the liberty movement; they happen in the geek community as well, where we're seeing
churches.
Absolutely. Somebody called about Jehovah's Witnesses earlier tonight. So
that's where the term, I believe, schism came from.
Is that right?
I believe so.
So this is nothing new. The fact that it's happening here in the cop block scene or wherever is nothing new. In fact, people are like, oh, well, it's happening in New Hampshire, so I don't want to go there. Well, if you had
they didn't want to go to New Hampshire in the first place.
Well, right. But if you had a liberty movement as vibrant and as growing as we do here in New Hampshire, where you live in, Ohio or Oklahoma or wherever, then
it's not Cop Block or Cop Watch, by the way. It's Cop Chasers.
That's his thing. That's the new group. But originally it was Cop Watch. Then there was Cop Block. Now there's Cop Chasers. So
there's no schisms among this. No schisms. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. There's been one of the points I wanted to make was the Cop Block schism at the national level. The Cop Block had gone so far from its original organizers' intentions. There was so much infighting that was going on the national level. These were people who didn't even live near one another. I mean, so the fact that we have thousands of liberty-minded people who've moved here, as the three of us have. There are these active migrations. There's like the Free State Project. There's Shire Society of these libertarians, voluntarists, people who love freedom coming here to New Hampshire. The fact that we have so many people here and really, honestly, so little real-life conflict and drama. Yeah, there's some people who, snipe at one another on Facebook, but you get them in the same room together and they,
you get
no problem.
If you stay off of Facebook, the drama is on Facebook.
For the most part.
It's not in New Hampshire.
Yeah, that's true. So again, online, you look at what happened with Cop Block. Things had gotten there was so much infighting, so much, negativity between some of the people in Cop Block. Ademo Freeman, who was one of the original founders of it at one point a few years ago, I think it was probably like 3 years ago now, he came out of retirement, basically, came in and cleaned house. He just basically shut down all the administrative accounts on Cop Block and started from scratch. And that's what he felt like he had to do. This, decentralized organization of Cop Block had gotten out of control. And so he came back in and, took control of it.
The heavy fist of centralization came in and took over.
Yeah, I mean, decentralization has its strengths.
It does.
But there's sometimes where it can go a little bit too far, so to speak. There's plenty of examples of this happening. You guys were talking about Bitcoin, where maybe it's going to be Bitcoin Unlimited, or maybe it's going to be the Bitcoin Core.
I think Bitcoin could use a little centralization right now. And it's one of the things I happen to like about Dash, which is another one of our sponsors. One of the developers I spoke to, Daniel is his name, he described Dash as like a school of fish. They're all individuals, but they move together. And I'm not saying Dash is centralized. It's not, but it's got some centralized aspects to it that give it a real advantage.
So, you want to talk to us about whatever's on your mind, you dial in toll-free here. 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. The fact remains, New Hampshire is the destination for libertarians. However active you want to get, that's up to you. But there's a lot that we can do here. There's a lot that we've already done successfully. We've had unprecedented successes in stopping bad laws and rolling some of the bad ones back and stopping new ones from being formed. So political successes, apolitical successes like epic civil disobedience that has been incredibly successful as well, which you can check out more about that over at victimlesscrimespree.com for a little taste of that.
I think we should, what I should do is go find a bunch of these Bitcoin millionaires that have been made
get them up here.
So wealthy by the process of Bitcoin, and buy a big cruise ship. and then can outfit, instead, take out the berths and the cabins and those sorts of things, and outfit them in small apartments, not big ones, not ostentatious, and then people can buy or rent the apartments, and then we can have a libertarian vessel that goes wherever we want. We'll be right there in international waters, basically free from the get-go. All you have to do is go out. You can have
Bitcoin miners where the heat generated converts water to steam, and steam powers the entire thing.
Mine actually run by ASICs, right? You can have a satellite thing. We could do Free Talk Live right from the boat, and you could leave all this infighting and stuff behind.
What makes you think you would leave it behind with a bunch of libertarians on a boat?
There'd be arguments, but there wouldn't be arguments on as something as crucial.
You wouldn't be able to leave easily.
Well,
people
yes,
would
you
be
would.
thrown overboard.
Hold on, Ian. It'd be a cruise ship. You'd go to ports. People would be like, "Oh, let's go here, let's go there." So
sure, if they could agree on where to go.
Well, there would be
somebody's
going to
have to be in charge.
Yes, on a hotel or a cruise ship, somebody's in charge.
Save your money, Mark. All right, let's go to the phones here. We got Greg in New York. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Greg. Hello.
By the way, the word schism, the Great Schism, happened, I think, between the Catholic Church and Eastern Orthodox Church like 1,000 years ago.
Yep.
So, I think that's the biggest one. I don't know if that's where the word comes from. If you guys had a boat of libertarians, that's a great question. Who would decide where it goes? You would need a democracy, which would go right back to...
Well, a democracy could be a way to decide where the boat goes. Or, in a hotel, which is essentially the same thing, right? Who decides where the boat goes? Well, there's, who decides what happens at the hotel? And the answer is that, there's some decentralized aspects. You get to decide what the temperature is or whatever, but the hotel manager decides most things. So in the case of the libertarian vessel, maybe what we would do is take some kind of, vote on where it is people want to go. And then, somebody who's skilled at this would say, okay, we'll go to this place, and this place, because they're kind of in a line, and we'll save that other place for next year.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's what I always told you guys, is that societies tend to form some kind of hierarchical structure, some kind of thing where they need to make a decision, like where to go. So it's inevitable that they will have some form of government. I mean, how can you...
Yeah, if that's what they choose for themselves, that's fine.
Right. Well, the thing about the boat is that when you leave, I'm not going to tax you. That the United States government can't say the same thing.
And I think that should be the same. Right. No, that should be the same. If you leave the United States and you renounce citizenship, you shouldn't have to be taxed.
As a matter of fact, I'm not going to tax you on the boat either. You would simply have to pay, a certain amount for staying there. The idea of taxes, where you pay based on your sort of ability to pay, it's kind of weird because it incentivizes people to not have an ability to pay.
Okay. So my topic today is about there is no such thing as a free lunch. And I think you guys pretty much agree with that, right?
Yep, no such thing as a free lunch. Tan snaffle.
Okay, awesome. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that it works both ways. It works on a societal level. So just because you're not paying taxes, let's say, for health insurance for someone or, society or whatever, doesn't mean you don't need health insurance. Everyone still needs it, but on a societal level, it just...
Do they really, though?
Health insurance kind of came about because of a tax scheme here in the United States. If it hadn't have been for that, then maybe it would only be a catastrophic health insurance situation. It's the intervention of the government into the healthcare system that has driven prices, through the roof, because there's 4 or 5 administrative pukes doing nothing for every doctor out there that is healing somebody.
Yeah, I mean, what if the healthcare costs were so affordable that, we don't need hamburger insurance, right? Like to go to McDonald's, we can afford to go and buy those things. We don't need computer insurance. We can buy these things because they're affordable.
There's very few people, have car repair insurance. And if you look at veterinarians, there's basically a free market in healthcare.
Stand by, Greg. We can continue here in moments. 8:55. I'm not in love with insurance as a concept, especially when it's forced down our throats by the government. More coming up. It's Free Talk Live.
Warning, if you've recently declared bankruptcy, you're going to want to cover your ears, because there's an alternative to bankruptcy, and it could be better than you'd ever think possible. But if you've already declared bankruptcy and have missed this opportunity, you'll want to cover your ears now. Here it is. Right now, the company that has resolved more credit card debt than anyone in the U.S. may be able to settle your debt, too. You could resolve your debt with one low monthly program payment. If you call right now and qualify, Freedom Debt Relief will show you how low your monthly program payment could be for free. Call now, 1-800-660-1581. That's 1-800-660-1581. If you're struggling with debt, this could be your answer. And the bigger your debt, the more money you could save. To find out for free how much of your hard-earned money Freedom Debt Relief could help you save, call now. 1-800-660-1581. 1-800-660-1581. 1-800-660-1581.
It's been said, any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years. From My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
Are you a sneezer? If you're not, can you get close to one? I don't literally mean someone sneezing. Sneezer, as defined by marketing guru Seth Godin, is an opinion leader. When a sneezer mentions something, other people catch what Godin calls the idea virus. Seth Godin says some people are more likely to tell their friends about a great new idea. So identifying and courting sneezers is a key success factor for idea merchants. His book, Unleashing the Idea Virus, is the most downloaded ebook in history, and you can download the whole book free. That's how he's making his idea contagious. Click tips, tricks, and other stuff to help you cut through the clutter at www.survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll free. You can bring up anything that you want to discuss. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? You can join Dash. Dash is digital cash. It's a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, private, and easy. Fees are low, and transactions are fast and can even be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. Join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash right now. Go to Dash.org and find out why. As we continue with Greg in New York, he's back on Free Talk Live. Greg, go ahead with your thoughts.
Hey, guys. Okay, so what if you got this Bitcoin billionaire or millionaire or Peter Thiel who wants to give you the micronation, and you build your boat, and it's cooperatively owned, so there's no one tyrant who tells everybody what to do, and everyone sets the rent. So that's a little bit like taxation, because if you're on the boat, you got to pay the rent.
No, it's nothing like it's nothing like taxation, because taxation is threatened on people. It's forced upon people who did not consent to it.
Well, what he's saying is that there's this sort of new place, and I mean the thing is that I guess, Greg, what you could do is you could buy your own boat, and then you don't have to be on this boat, if that makes sense. And there are people. I was down in Key West, I was down in the Keys, wasn't in Key West, and I was talking to a guy who was an avowed commie, and he's like, I don't really know how property tax works because I've lived on a boat my whole life, but I went to the public school and my dad never paid any property taxes. So there's certain places in the United States where people are leeching off of the government school system and not having to pay because of property tax. Like, taxes are always sort of inherently unfair, even if people come up with, people try to come up with systems that are fair. But what's it even mean?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, I live in a building, and there are a lot of facilities that I don't use. The seniors use, let's say, the center or a room that I don't use, but I still have to pay. Someone's got to pay for that room, and I'm sure my rent goes towards that. Is that unfair? Well, yeah, it is, but I'm not looking for total fairness. By the way, if Libertarian Banker calls in, I just want to say in general, I would love to, how you guys set up that debate. If we had more time, he asked a great question last time. He said, how is it that if you have single payer, right, the cost of living in Wyoming is much less than the cost of living in New York City?
Yep.
So how is it, right, that you would set the price? Central planning. How would you do that? And I think that's a great question. I'm not saying, by the way, that things should be centrally done. I'm not saying U.S. federal government should be doing the health insurance, and I'm not saying that the EU or any large central. Well, I'm just saying decentralize all the things. I'm in favor of that. Like,
how do you decentralize massive welfare payments?
It's simple. Every community is going to be eventually run without government by apps. You literally will have like a WordPress that the community installs, except instead of blogs, they will have the rules that the community votes on, and it will be cryptographically secure. People will vote, and simply the currency and everything else will be just run through the community system. You move in, and the community has a certain amount allocated towards health insurance, other things, and that's how people will be able to help each other, especially after disaster. They'll be more resilient this way.
I see. So decentralized, like WordPress, that you get from WordPress.com.
So I've got this question.
Well, you can host your own. You can host your own.
Right, but you get it from WordPress.com. You host your own after you download the software from WordPress.com from the central repository.
Right. There's levels of decentralization. Of course, the developers, like we're talking about Bitcoin right now, right? Who is going to control
I want to address the healthcare thing, because I think that it's a really important issue that faces everybody. Yes, computers are going to make things significantly more efficient, and I can't wait until this great computer overmind fixes some problems. However, one of the things I saw when I lived in socialized medicine, under socialized medicine, is that some people didn't want to work. They didn't want to do the jobs that they had to do.
When was this?
Prison.
Oh, okay.
And they would go to sick call in the morning in order to avoid doing the work. And what you had was essentially socialized medicine incentivizing people to call out of work and laziness and these sorts of things.
Because they're going to eat whether or not.
I think that's great, by the way. I think that's awesome. People don't want to work. They don't have to resort to dirty tricks. They should just be able to not work.
Agreed.
That's liberty.
Yeah, but who the hell's going to work?
Yeah, but should they get free medical care? I mean, they're driving up the cost for everybody because, look, if I'm really sick, but the guy with the fake sickness is in line ahead of me, there's only so many doctors to see them, and instead of getting seen at 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to be seen at 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Well, those are the kind of fears that people trot out. And
fear? I'm telling no. Whoa. Fear my foot. I watch this crap happen every single day. Those stinking noob convicts would walk in and they'd be like, I'm not picking up cigarette butts with a can. Right. I'm going to go to sick call. And that crap happened every day. That's not a fear.
Okay, 2 things. One, the prison probably did not have doctors competing for your business.
Agreed.
They probably provided it.
Absolutely
and
not.
2, you're talking about prison. There's so many things, including public school, I feel is a little bit like a prison, too.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of dynamics there. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about an open society where doctors can come and compete with other doctors, and everyone has a little bit of money to survive in case they fall on hard times. That's all I'm talking about.
Yeah, but, okay,
and it's
so
not the same thing.
One of the things that confuses me here is that tonight you've said that you want people to be in, like, communities, small communities, not some sort of overarching behemoth federal government paying for all of this. But on the other hand, some of the ideas you're talking about would require some sort of overarching federal thing that can centralize and distribute money. It seems like you can't really have it both ways.
So? Just because you're used to it. You're used to the federal government doing this. New York City could run the whole health insurance locally. New York State could run the whole health insurance locally. And they do, by the way. Insurance companies don't compete across state lines. But
they should.
But that's by federal requirement, I believe.
Well, if they did compete across state lines, you just have the same situation as credit cards. They just move to the state that has the most provider-friendly policies, and then the credit cards give you huge interest rates, as big as they can because they're located in that state. So everybody would just move to one state. It doesn't solve it.
If what you had, Greg, was a community that was trying the things you're talking about and all done on a consensual basis, I don't think that'd be a problem. But when it's being forced down on people across the board, that's when I start to object. I'm fine if somebody wants to live on a commune. That's their business.
I'm all for handing out the cough syrup to people who have colds. It's just that when that one person comes along that throws the whole thing out of whack, that one person who's in such a comatic state that they can't see the difference between light and dark or whatever, they're going to drive the costs up for everybody dramatically. And a community is not going to be able to handle that.
There's more coming up. Thanks for the call, Greg. You can take control of the airwaves here. You can bring up anything you want on Free Talk Live.
Do you know what's lurking in your water? More than 200 contaminants could be sitting there, just waiting for your glass. With a ProPure water filter, start enjoying clean and great-tasting water today. ProPure filters, independently tested, latest water filter technology. ProPure systems do not require electricity and are easy to set up and easy to use. To find out more, visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Free Talk Live.
Why would they go around bombing people around the world? Doesn't that make us less safe?
Oh, you know what? I guess some of these people got it coming. It's a good day to be dead if you're a terrorist search.
How many of the people that the U.S. military has killed in the last decade have been terrorists?
A whole bunch of them. You know what?
What percentage?
You sound like some liberal church.
What percentage?
A lot of people
I'm not a liberal, sir. Liberals support war, from what I can tell.
Take a look. Obama left
support war when we need it. We have justifiable war. You know, there's people like you. Triumph when good men do nothing, you jerk.
Wait a second, child jerk.
I'm not bombing anyone.
You can feel however you feel about me, but Smedley Butler, the two-time Medal of Honor winning Marine, felt the same way.
Well, you know what? MacArthur had it the right way. You know what? We should have went after China. We should have chased those tricoms across that river, and we should have bombed them. We should have nuked them. We should have...
You are horrible.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring Simon to the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Really creative.
Whoa. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial on in toll free here as Bitcoin price once again record highs. As we've gone throughout the show here tonight, it's at $2,293 right now at bitcoinaverage.com. Record high. So with you tonight in the studio, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
It's certainly fun to watch as it goes up. People don't have as much fun watching as it goes down, but at some point it might go down again. You never know.
They're all going up. It's not just Bitcoin. It's all
Monero's up big today.
Yeah.
Big time, like double what it was the last time I looked.
Yep.
So very cool stuff. We're always excited to see those things happen. You can join us here toll free, by the way. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. Now, if you've got Bitcoin or Dash or Monero or one of the other cryptocurrencies out there, you can go and get your shopping done and save big time at saveatpurse.com. Save AT-Purse, saveatpurse.com. You want to get something on Amazon? I just got a weed eater, actually. You can see it if you're watching the cam in the background back there. I got that at 20% off from the regular price at Amazon, thanks to saveatpurse.com.
Yeah, now that you have a battery-powered weed eater, what did that cost you?
I don't know, $67
Was it worth your manhood? I mean,
is that bad?
You gave up a gas-powered weed eater for this?
Yep,
What's its radial distance there? 4 inches? 5?
I have no idea.
I'm looking at that string. It looks like it doesn't go anywhere.
I don't know, Mark. I got the one that wasn't the smallest, though. There were different sizes on that.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
You know what you need? You need a still.
That's like really expensive, right?
It's like it really works.
What's wrong with Black & Decker?
It's consumer-level stuff.
It only gets used a few times a year. I mean, this is New Hampshire.
Was it worth your manhood?
It's not like you got grass growing. I'm not even going to be using the damn thing. I hire people to do that stuff. I gave up doing lawns. I did plenty of lawns when I lived in Florida. Did plenty of them. Okay, I had houses down there, and I mowed my own lawn plenty of times. And I don't want to ever do it again. So I guess I've given up my manhood because I don't like going out there and mowing the damn lawn because it's annoying and the grass stinks. And
the grass stinks?
It's nasty. I don't like the smell of it.
I don't like the smell of fresh cut grass.
No. No. I like the smell of fresh rain outside. I like that. That's sort of the ozone smell. But fresh cut grass doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah. Can I tell you?
I mean, Johnson, he's living in an apartment or a condominium. He didn't have to do any of that stuff anymore. It must be nice.
With his cats.
Yeah.
You guys.
It's nice.
I do want to get start a garden, but I won't be using a weed eater on it. No need for that.
We had some good luck with those hanging baskets that do the tomatoes on them.
Oh, yeah. I've heard about those.
Tomatoes.
Topsy-turvy. You hate tomatoes?
Yeah, I hate tomatoes.
Those really are
I'd
the
like to do
reason
those
for a
hanging
garden.
baskets with strawberries in them, though. That would
Yeah,
Yep, they've a strawberry sort of variant for you.
That sounds nice.
What in the world do you want a garden for if tomatoes aren't the thing? I mean, that's the number one thing that you can grow on your own and truly get the benefit from. Fresh-grown tomatoes taste so much better than store-bought ones.
Fresh-grown herbs are also a wonderful thing to
Yeah, I mean, you do cook a lot more than I do. Yeah. My wife has a big herb garden.
Let me tell you, fresh oregano is way better than the store-bought stuff. When you dry it yourself and you
could just get it from Laura.
Okay, well, I could do that.
That's Mark's wife.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah, saveatpurse.com.
By the way,
saveatpurse.com. You can save big money on pretty much anything you want to buy through Amazon. I do it all the time. And you can take control of the airwaves here, bring up whatever's on your mind. Let's see here. We were talking about the troops in the streets in the UK that have been deployed after this bombing that occurred last night. The bomber who killed himself detonated his suicide bomb in the foyer of the Manchester Arena Monday night as thousands of children and their parents streamed out at the end of the concert by U.S. pop star Ariana Grande, sending bolts and shrapnel flying into victims. They said that it was a nail bomb, so that's why they're saying they were bolts. The death toll from the attack rose from 19 to 22 on Tuesday in what was the worst terrorist attack in Britain since the 7/7 attacks in London in 2005. Two girls aged 8 and 18, and a 26-year-old man were the first to be named among the victims, with 59 other people hospitalized, several with life-threatening injuries, including a number of teenagers.
My son is 9. I can't imagine taking him to a concert.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just he's just not into music or whatever.
That's got to be it, because I mean, a lot of these kids are big time into pop music, and when their favorite pop star is in town, then that's all they're talking to their parents about, right? Like Jack talks to you about he's into the solar system, right?
9 does seem a little young for it though, but I would think more like early teens.
Well, definitely early teens would go to an Ariana Grande concert.
We just went to a Lego event in Leominster or something out there in Mass.
What do they have, like a moving event that goes to different places? Or?
They have conventions. Different clubs will put on conventions. So this one had they had a bunch of vendors and then a bunch of displays. There's a battleship Missouri, the one that the treaty was signed on.
Yeah.
It was the size to the size of minifigures. So the Lego minifigure guys, there was this battleship was to that size. It was gigantic, and it's pretty amazing stuff.
Now, who found out about that? Did he know about it, or did you find out about it first?
I think Laura hunted that down. He's not very connected.
He's not with it like that. He's not connected. Well, he's on the internet. He's not like in a Lego community there or something.
He watches people play Minecraft on the internet. I mean, that's all.
He doesn't play it himself. He watches.
He plays it, but he wants to see what other people are doing too.
That is so big, by the way. This Twitch.
Twitch! You're just hearing about Twitch?
No, I heard about it like a year or so ago. I mean, it's a big deal. The whole watching people play video games.
I mean, there's also now YouTube gaming as well.
Yeah, YouTube started their own competitor to it. Twitch is a
Microsoft
website.
has as well, actually, now.
I don't know who owns Twitch, but Twitch is a video streaming site that is specifically about video gaming. Correct me if I'm wrong on this,
Yeah,
John.
that's correct.
It's just all video streams of people playing video games. And I guess some of them, they give like live commentary. Others, it's just them playing or whatever. PewDiePie is the most worldwide famous of these gamers. He's got a YouTube channel. Probably also has a Twitch, would be my guess. Yeah. But this is huge. This PewDiePie guy that he's talking about was, or maybe still is, the #1 YouTube channel. And all he does is play video games and reacts to them. Now, it's the reactions that make him different from the other channels, right? That
these are people who are talk show hosts. I mean, I've listened
by themselves. Yeah,
I've listened to them enough.
Yeah.
They are talk show hosts, and my son watches.
Except they don't have guests; they're just talking.
We don't have guests.
Well, they don't have callers.
They don't have. Well, so what? I mean, they've got. Sometimes they'll bring on another person. They'll interact. They've got the video game to talk about. They talk about other things. These people are legit talk show hosts. There's nothing. There's no difference between what we do and what they do. They provide unique audio content through the medium of their human voice.
True.
And people
and videos, gaming.
You know, and there's something to watch. But I listen to it. I've never watched any of this stuff. But my son listens to this guy Stampy Longhead, and you know. We like him because he isn't filthy mouth.
He's not cursing a
like
lot.
some of those other people are.
Right.
But, you know, I mean, some of the voices are just irritating as they could possibly be. Others, I think, are, you know, got good content. Mostly I wish that he would listen to, you know, stuff that's more educational. But, you know, you got to have entertainment.
It's interesting, though. I mean, like, how popular it is. Like, there's a lot of people who would just rather watch other people play the video games rather than play them themselves.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I've watched a number of these things. Like, I find some of it to be interesting. And it's like, oh, well, I don't have to actually buy this game. I can just watch this other person play it. And, you know, I can stop it any time that I want. And sometimes the commentary is interesting or entertaining. I've watched the React channel where they'll have... I like that because they have different people playing the games, and so you get different reactions to the same thing that's happening on screen. So they'll have like the elders play, and then they'll have the teens play, and so on and so forth.
I watch reenactments of not physical reenactments, but like sort of graphic reenactments of ancient battles.
No, this isn't reenactments. This is React, where they're reacting to things.
No, I'm just saying that's what I watch on YouTube.
Wow, that's really geeky. Toll-free number here, 855-450.
Something, man.
Free. It's Free Talk Live. More coming up.
Everyone has something in their lives or just about themselves that they want to change, from trying to lose weight to becoming more motivated at work. Change is difficult, but the good news is no matter what, you don't have to go through it alone. Hypnotherapy can help you remove negative subconscious thoughts that keep you from achieving your goals. Never rely on just willpower again. Contact us at afterhourshypnotherapy.com today for your free consultation, or contact Melvin Marsh at 678-658-8483.
Bitcoin.com is the most unique online destination in the Bitcoin universe. Buying Bitcoin? Do it here. Want to speak your mind to other Bitcoin users? Our forum is always open and censorship-free at forum.bitcoin.com. There's no bigger Bitcoin believers than the Bitcoin.com team. That's why this site is a one-stop shop for everything you need to get into Bitcoin life. You can also play games at games.bitcoin.com. Learn more at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-765-9681 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-765-9681. Again, that's 800-765-9681.
Angioprim can unclog blocked arteries and improve blood flow in all parts of your body. Angioprim is oral chelation. Easy, simple, liquid oral chelation. You take it with juice before breakfast and forget about it. Angioprim works fast, unlike old-fashioned chelation that takes hours. Just log on to angioprim.com. That's Angioprim, A-N-G-I-O-P-R-I-M, angioprim.com. Angioprim users say they have more energy, more strength, more endurance. Increased circulation and blood flow will make all your body parts work better. Log on to angioprim.com to get more information on how you can get started and start feeling better, having fun, and doing more again. Lots more. Talk to a trained Angioprim consultant. Call Angioprim toll-free at 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221. Or log on for complete information. Angioprim.com. That's Angioprim.com. Find out how Angioprim can work for you. Get the facts about Angioprim at Angioprim.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. The number here, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. 855-450-3733. Well, we were talking about bombings, but ended up talking about pop culture instead, which is fine. You can take control of the airwaves here at 855-450-FREE. But what sparked the conversation was the Manchester bombing of the Ariana Grande concert, which has resulted now in at least 22 people who have perished due to a man who suicide bombed. And apparently, according to the story here at The Guardian, the bomber was conveniently carrying identification on him when he blew himself up. In the aftermath, armed police raided Mr. Abedi's house in the Fallowfield area in South Manchester and carried out a controlled explosion, apparently blasting open the front door. A 23-year-old man was arrested in nearby Whalley Range, where Abedi spent some of his childhood. Armed officers also searched a block of flats in the area. And an ISIS-related website claimed the attacker was a Caliphate soldier who had killed crusaders, although it remains unclear what links, if any, Abedi had to the terror group. Did the ISIS-related website know that he attacked an Ariana Grande concert? I mean, I'm sorry, but, you know, that's a real stretch of propaganda to claim that these teenage girls and their parents were crusaders in any way, shape, or form.
I think that basically anybody who's from Europe would be then, therefore, as far as they're concerned, crusaders. I mean, this is
it's stupid.
Agreed. They're a real us versus them organization.
It's the government that are the crusaders. They're the ones who, I mean, if the terrorists are going to strike something, why do they keep striking these soft targets, right? Why don't you strike the government?
Because it increases the shock value.
Yeah, because it's terror, right? They want people to be scared.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure what they hope to achieve. You would think that most, feeling Middle Easterners that would, that they were trying to appeal to here would somehow consider this to be like, that's a little beyond the pale, killing 8-year-old
It's horrible.
girls. I would think that that's what they would think personally, but I don't think like a terrorist. So they're not gonna come up on you in a fair fight. They don't want to shoot out at 10 paces or anything like that. They want terrible things.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's more horror here that we could continue to describe to you, but as you might have predicted, it has resulted in the military being in the streets of Manchester.
It's funny. The first thought that I have is if you want to know what kind of horrible things that a terrorist might want, just watch the movie The Patriot, starring Mel Gibson, and then you realize how that kind of works.
It's been a while. I remember liking the film, but I don't remember much else about it.
It's just, I mean, you can make the comparison about terrorists to the Revolutionary War with American soldiers who started guerrilla warfare, which was,
but they did
extremely disgustingly uncivilized.
How often did they do guerrilla warfare against civilians? They almost entirely did it against, state actors, right?
Well, yes. I mean, but that was they were I guess the British that were there. I don't really know.
It was effectively the terrorism of its time.
Right,
I will concur with you on that, but terrorism has deteriorated since then.
Yeah,
there wouldn't have been any value at all for a revolutionary force inside of the United States to really do too much terrorist acts. Now, there's certainly that.
Yeah, but were they murdering the families of the soldiers, or were they targeting the soldiers?
In some cases in Philadelphia, you saw actions against loyalists, and I'm sure that happened in some of the other major metros, but it was certainly not. As the understanding I have of it is certainly wasn't nearly as common as far as going after, standing and shooting at soldiers walking on a line.
So if you want to join us here, you're welcome to do that. We're talking about some pop culture things, the online video streaming service, the very different people that are playing video games and making big money at it too, which is like the best part about it. I mean, who in our generation, Johnson, there were a lot of people I think grew up would have loved the job of like video game tester, because they would have loved to have gotten paid to play video games. But this is even better than video game tester, because with video game tester, you're finding bugs. I mean, that's your job. It's not as much fun if you're writing down what's wrong with the game. That's what you're doing that job for.
You have to do ridiculous, rigorous, boring things to be a video game tester.
Oh yeah. It looks like it would be fun from the outside to somebody who doesn't really understand what they do, but it's probably absolutely horribly dull. This, you literally get to just play a video game, have fun, react. Like the more expressive you are with your reactions, the more people are going to love what you do. And you put it online, and YouTube or Twitch or whoever sends you a check. I mean, it's amazing. And there was, I guess, controversy in the field to some extent, because YouTube recently, and I don't know if it was just a few months ago or whatever, but they started to sort of demonetize the more mature channels on YouTube because advertisers don't want to be associated with controversy. Advertisers don't want to be associated with, let's say, a channel that is not necessarily like racist, like Chris Cantwell or something like that, but just offensive, saying things that are curse words or some semi-nudity.
We don't like it in my house when Jack gets on some. There were even some solar system videos out there where it's like, this is effing amazing. Really, dude? Like, talking about the solar system, you couldn't have not dropped the F-bomb?
Now, did you find that because you were screening them? Do you have to screen the videos?
No, we don't screen them. We explain to him, what's appropriate conversation and terminology like that. He really doesn't use that language.
I've never heard him do it.
So you don't have him liked on the I effing love science page on.
They do some good memes for Facebook, and I don't hate them as much as I hate some other stuff out there.
So what happened was YouTube started to demonetize. Like, they'll still give you a check if you have a mature channel, but it won't be near what it used to be. And so they only have some advertisers who will accept being on those mature channels.
Trojan Man.
Or whatever, I don't know. So one of the YouTube guys, MXR, who does a lot of Fallout videos, Fallout 4 and Skyrim videos and things like that, he was complaining about this, like that this has damaged his channel big time. He has two channels, because a lot of these YouTube creators, they have two channels. They have one that's their main channel, and then one that they put more like video logs or video blogs and things like that, more long form stuff that's not as highly edited. And he says that the main channel he has more than 1 million subscribers.
Yeah.
The secondary channel he has 100,000 subscribers, so a tenth of the subscribers. But he makes more money from his secondary channel than he does his main channel, and that's because the secondary channel is just video of him and his girlfriend playing video games, whereas the first channel, it's like an edited video of mods for Skyrim and other games.
Of him streaming the F-bomb at the TV.
With like kind of, sexy babes on it or whatever, right? Like, that's what it is. And
but, Cry Me a River. Yeah. This is what this is the problem with talent, Ian. This is the argument that has gone on for so long in the radio business, is that talent doesn't understand sales, and sales just is sick and tired of putting up with complaining talent, right? And so effing what? Look, Dial Soap doesn't want to be on your channel because you're a foul-mouthed jerk. Tell you what, clean up your language. That's all you have to do.
It's the market speaking, there's no doubt. But the nice thing about the internet is you can connect directly with your viewers. And so what he's done...
He's doing Patreons.
It's Patreon. Yeah, so
Patreon's great for them. You know, hey, somebody out there wants to hear a whole bunch of cuss words while they're watching video games. Why? It's beyond me. But whatever.
So that's kind of what's going on out there. In other news, let's go to the phones, to the fun. Wolfgang in Nevada, you're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Wolfgang.
Hello. The suicide bomber, he killed the women and children to make a point, and nobody gets it.
What's the point?
Not even you guys. Because that's what the Americans do to them. They kill they kill children and women. And he called them crusaders because that the invaders are killing women and children. The Times Square bomber, when he gave a speech to the judge, he said, "You guys kill he went to Pakistan and saw the women and children that were killed by U.S. drones, and he came back to the U.S. where he was from and told the judge that's why he did it, because Americans are killing women and children." And it's a shame that he used a rhetorical tool of suicide to make his point, and no Americans get it. Not even you guys. It seems like
apparently not.
No, I think we understand that. I think you make a good point. We understand that it's horrible to see it happen.
I don't think it's okay. I mean, there's either 2 dead kids isn't.
It's more than 2 dead kids. I suspect.
It's like
22.
Giuliani.
I bet you the majority. Thank you, Wolfgang, for the call tonight. You're welcome to call another night. We're out of time, but. Yeah, I bet if you looked at the 22 dead, I bet you the majority of them would be under the age of...
I'm just saying 2 wrongs don't make a right. That's what I'm trying to point out.
No doubt. You're absolutely right about that. The violence has to stop.
A dead white kid doesn't bring back a dead Middle Eastern kid.
We'll continue tomorrow night. You can join us online in the meantime, freetalklive.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. You may already know about the Free Talk Live audio-on-demand phone line at 641-793-9660. Did you know that not only can you listen to Free Talk Live via your phone, you can also leave a message and have it delivered to Free Talk Live's hosts? To leave us your thoughts, just dial 641-793-9660. That's 641-793-9660. Press 2 for Free Talk Live, and then hit 0 to leave your message.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darrell W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, May 23rd, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.15 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,260 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.3 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,182. Antiwar.com reports Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has a recurring problem with foreign descent occurring on foreign soil and can't seem to get through a visit to the United States without his bodyguards feeling obliged to assault political demonstrations. The State Department wasn't super thrilled with that, but Turkish officials are downright furious this time around, following the State Department saying they had concern about the beatdown of protesters, some of whom were waving a Kurdish organization's flag. Turkey has summoned the U.S. ambassador to deliver a handwritten protest to the U.S. government for daring to allow such protest in the first place. Turkey's foreign ministry has argued they want a full investigation into the circumstances whereby the U.S. allowed the public demonstration to take place, insisting it was a provocative action and that the demonstration was clearly unpermitted. The Erdogan government, of course, is unaccustomed to dealing with such protests, as people across Turkey are routinely disappeared into custody for even a hint of disloyalty towards the president. Still, an unfamiliarity with public dissent is hardly unique to Turkey among foreign leaders visiting the U.S., and seemingly everyone else is able to cope with seeing protests without sending a bunch of guys with batons to cudgel them into silence. When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more. UPI reports the U.S. Supreme Court on Monday issued a ruling that tightens U.S. patent laws and makes it more difficult for patent trolls to win damages in federal court. The High Court unanimously ruled that all patent lawsuits must now be argued and heard in whichever state the defendant resides, a significant change that blocks patent holders from filing in states that are more likely to rule in their favor. 8 of the 9 justices made the decision in T.C. Heartland v. Kraft, a case in which Kraft sued the flavored drink maker in a Maryland court, claiming patent infringement. T.C. Heartland unsuccessfully tried to get the case moved to Indiana, where it resides. Following the conclusion of the case, which ruled for Kraft, T.C. Heartland took its appeal all the way to the Supreme Court. Monday's ruling is particularly harmful to so-called patent trolls, companies or individuals that purchase patents with the sole intent of forcing other corporate entities to pay licensing or royalty fees to them. The issue of where patent cases are heard has often been a critical one. In the past, many plaintiffs filed their suits in states or districts that are historically friendly to patent holders, such as Texas and Maryland. In fact, nearly half of all patent infringement cases in the United States have been filed in East Texas federal court, more than the total number of cases seen in California, Florida, and New York combined. The newest member of the Supreme Court, Neil Gorsuch, was not involved in hearing or deciding the case. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports Fox News was hit with sexual harassment and discrimination lawsuits on Monday, adding to the catalog of complaints that has rattled the cable news network and its corporate parent, 21st Century Fox. New York City lawyer Douglas Wigdor filed lawsuits in federal court in Manhattan on behalf of Kathleen Fox, a Fox News radio shift editor who says she was sexually harassed and subjected to unceasing retaliation for complaining, and Naima Farrow, who maintains she was fired from her job as an accounts payable coordinator after telling supervisors she was pregnant. In a third case in the same court, Vidya Mann, a Fox News accounts receivable specialist, said she was taken on as a temporary employee but passed over for permanent jobs in favor of white co-workers. The new legal claims come as Fox News is already battling a series of lawsuits that led to the resignation of former CEO Roger Ailes, who died last week, star anchor Bill O'Reilly, and network co-president Bill Shine. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
In a deal policymakers have hailed as a decisive step towards combating the rapidly escalating national debt, the United States settled 0.12 millionth of a percent of its debt to China this week with a single autographed photograph of John Hamm. The sale of the glossy signed headshot of the acclaimed actor, which China reportedly accepted for a financial easement of approximately $150 out of America's estimated $1.3 trillion in obligations, concludes a 6-month negotiation between the two parties.
The decision was obviously not an easy one, but without question, this was the right choice for our nation's future.
And in this week's science news, a distant planet is terrified that it might be able to someday support human life. In other news, a live cow is lowered onto the floor of the U.S. House of Representatives. The majority of an office's supplies are used to apply for different jobs, and a lapsed cult member only attends sanctum on major bloodletting holidays.
This is the Onion News Network.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember. I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Today, let us make them remember. We are not afraid!
Yeah, we got a great show for you today here on Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, in Phoenix, Arizona, from the BEAUT full studios of Freedoms with an S, freedomsphoenix.com. That was better than most. Okay. All right, that's because we got a great day today. All right, well, first off, all right, this is how it worked out. We have Dr. Frank Tamburio come on in the second and third hour. Wait a minute, second and third hour. And what we're going to do is have him talk about Donald Trump coming this last weekend. Now, he went because he's glutton for punishment. So he goes to a lot of the Republican things. He wants to, be there and do things and find out and what's up. So he went to I can't even know where it was, but a lot of people were calling, Ernie Donald's in town. He's down, Evansburg, Detroit. And I'm going, let me express how much I don't care. Rather spend time with the family. But he has sparked a lot of interest in, Republican race. And one, he does it as a Republican, so that'll, throw him in with the rest of the crowd. But the one thing that's of interest is he really hammered on that immigration thing. And it's not so much that he did. He's like, just come in legally or whatever. He's just, off the cuff, I'm on TV, kind of, whatever. I don't need a script. It's just talk about, man, how stupid this whole thing is. So that's cool. But, there was a lot of guys latched on it. See, a candidate against them Mexicans, we'll get some, so I'm going, all right, so they're very excited about it. They have no idea what his position is on, everything else. Nobody's even asked him about gun control. That was one thing, a lot of the people that are very excited about Donald Trump being, anti-immigration, I don't think they really know what his position is on, anything. So we'll find out. So we'll talk about it and we'll see what happens. It'll be fun to hang out with Dr. Tamburi because he's always entertaining, got good stories, and I don't have to talk. There ain't no dead air on my show, damn it. It's like, but you just turn on Frank. I can go to the bathroom. So he can make sure we get informed and entertained. But what would be good? What would be good to have before that? How about, let me think, Dr. Ron Paul. Okay, so Dr. Ron Paul is going to come on at the bottom of the hour, and there's so many, he's so busy, and I really appreciate him making time for us, but it's, we only get a segment or maybe two out of him, and so he really wanted to promote from Plowshares, From Swords to Plowshares, his book. And I just started reading. I got sent, PDF advanced, please don't share copy. What shall I do with it? So I'll go ahead and, we'll honor the request and not, send it to everybody yet. But so what happens is I start reading it, and it's just an observation. It starts off, with him. Look, man, my entire life we've been at war. It's 240 whatever years that we've been in, and most of that 220 whatever we've been at war. It's always some war. Seriously. So it starts off that way, and I'm just enjoying it, and I'm going, damn, man, I might read the damn thing. So, that's it's good sentiment to have out there from someone such as Dr. Paul saying, look, seriously, Germany got to invade Greece now? Wars were started for much less. It was just like, hey, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good. How you doing? Yeah, I'm okay. You know what we need? I'm kind of bored. We need a war. My kids got to be able to go in war and lose a limb and have a war. Got these experience camaraderie of a war, like it was health food or something. This attitude is ew. I mean, can we progress? Can we evolve? Can we develop our society past this war thing? Well, then of course, his son. What do we talk about? I mean, does Rand come up? Do I throw that in there? I just don't care. I'm not looking for someone to save us. I'm just looking for representation of philosophy. I'm looking for, I tell you, I was talking with some friends last night. We were for dinner, and they're excited about Dr. Paul coming on, of course. And I'm going, what should we bring up Rand? Well, how would I do that? And I go, I think I got an idea. It's been a long time, entire lifetime, for us to have someone as rare and as consistent. And even if you're not perfect, we had Scott Horton on, I think it was yesterday, and Anti-War Radio, and he goes, I just can't get behind Rand. I mean, he was being pretty raw. I keep telling him, we're recording in the break. I mean, come on, man. How many times I got to tell you? I've even taken some because I can edit the audio. If I don't edit the video, it just goes straight through for the hour. And I tell people, Donna does when they come on. I hear it every time. Okay, we continue to record. We can edit the audio. We don't edit the video. Whatever you say during the break or at the top of the hours and so on. And everything you say, talk to Ernie, is recorded. Get over it. And FYI. Well, a lot of times, it's if I don't put it, I cut it off when we open the show. I just, start with the opening. But if she has them on, it's recording because she's getting sound levels and all that stuff. So I got in the master file. I got them saying, yeah, I get it. A lot of times I'll include it in there just to, and Scott, he'll go off in the break and then he'll go, man, I wish I wouldn't have said that. Can you cut that video? Kind of. I'm going. I've done it before, years before, Scott, it's always Scott. I mean, he just goes out, I don't think I want, and I'm going, I'm not doing it anymore. I mean, damn, third time, but he went off on Rand. I mean, he just, man, don't like him some Rand. He go, I try to like, I can't. I just can't. And he, really went off. So when I talked to Dr. Paul's father, how would you bring that campaign up? In the 17, however many teens there are of GOP candidates. I'm like, I have waited my entire life, my lifetime. Now, we had Ronald Reagan, but that was, you scratch the surface and you find out what was really going on. I mean, it definitely wasn't Ron Paul. So I'm going, there's been a time that, I'm proudly American, but, it's just kind of that wanes. And in what is American anymore? I'm proud to be the country that kicked everybody's ass. Yay. So how long we got to wait? Dr. Paul, how long we got to wait for the next Dr. Paul? I mean, is it that we've talked to some young 26-year-old state senator from Maine, Eric Brakey? I know his uncle lives here in Arizona, John. And I'm going, This is, we've covered him over the years when he went to Tampa, the Republican National Convention and such. Now he gets elected, and then, of course, he endorses Rand Paul, as an elected young revolutionary. And I'm just, so what are you endorsing? What's different? Is it the same? Is there something? Is it just, expected? Is it? So how long do we got to wait? Would that give Dr. Paul an opportunity to say, well, my son's running? Would he do that? I don't know. And he goes, well, I don't know. Maybe, it's kind of, that'd be an open door, be an opportunity, you do the dad thing, or it may not even cross his mind. He may just get right in the spirit of the question. I don't know. We're looking for, because what is Rand doing? He's playing politics. I'm not sure this is a political thing. It's a philosophical thing. What's going on, this cultural thing? Well, swords to plowshares, culture.
This is Donna Hancock with Silver Alliance Realty in Phoenix, Arizona, and I specialize in helping you find the real estate that fits your needs. Whether you are looking to purchase a home or a piece of land, whether it's in town or a rural setting, I can help you find exactly what you are looking for. Most of us are aware of the turbulent times ahead and will need to settle in a place that will suit our particular desires, not only to protect our families, but to thrive in the coming downturn of the economy. Unfortunately, that time is not in the future, but it is upon us, and if you are going to get ahead of the game, now is the time to prepare. Qualifying options for new loans are narrowing, the dollar is being devalued every day, and living expenses are on the rise. So I have created a useful tool on my webpage at donnahancock.com that will allow you to search for properties at your leisure that are of interest to you. Simply click on the Search MLS tab at the top of my webpage to begin your search today. Start preparing for your future, and when you are ready to move forward with your home or land buying purchase, we can work together to get you and your family ready to flourish. Feel free to call or text me at 602-828-1819. That's 602-828-1819, and let's get started today.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
For Bitcoin to be ubiquitous, people need to use it. For people to use it, they must have it. How can we get Bitcoin into more hands? Tipping. What if you could include a bonus Bitcoin tip along with your regular tip to a server? What if that Bitcoin tip returned to you if unclaimed after 30 days? An attractive business card Bitcoin tip that's easily claimed, gives instructions on wallets and spending, and returns to the tipper if unused. Tip.freetalklive.com. Tip.freetalklive.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
Are you about to meet the media? If you're about to be interviewed, do their homework for them. Know this about the person who will interview you. He or she is busy, so expect minimal, if any, preparation. He or she doesn't know as much about your topic as you do. He or she isn't as concerned as you are about getting your message out, so you need to take responsibility. Provide a biography and fact sheet, photographs, or other materials that tell your story. Reporters won't be put off if you supply frequently asked questions. Remember, Public Speaking 101, at the end of the speech, what's the one thing you want them to remember? You can download the document I supply to reporters who interview me and squirm through a video that demonstrates how not to conduct your media interview at www.survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Roads? It's the Ernest Hancock Show. Where we're going, there aren't any roads.
Dedicated to Swords into Plowshares by Ron Paul. Dedicated to what? To a new generation that seeks peace and rejects the notion of inevitable war. Inevitable war. Inevitable. I remember that feeling as a young man. I'm, graduated high school in 79, and they had just brought back selective service. And it was, you had to go down to the post office the post office, of course, the post office and register as a, 18-year-old guy. And, I wish to be cannon fodder. And I refused to do it. I mean, it was, my dad was like, oh, you got to go get some, and he really pushed it because he was in the Air Force. And I'm just like, no. And it wasn't like I thought they were going to come get me or it was inevitable. I don't know. It did seem it was at the time. It was like boycotting the 1980 Moscow Olympics. We had Cold War's at its peak. Red Dawn, the movie, was being made. OPEC and gas lines and wars and rumors of wars in Iran. I mean. Hostages were taken and Afghanistan's being invaded by airliners, parachuters, and everything from the Soviet Union. I mean, it was just, war. And I remember having the feeling, can we just get this over? I'm so sick. Can we just, lay waste to everybody's capitals and kind of, like Shakespeare saying, first kill all the lawyers, which means Congress. So I'm going, wow, can we just, skip to the end and get them? I'm tired of hearing about it. So it's like they prep you. And I remember that feeling. It didn't go for very long, but I remember it. I'm just like, I'm so sick of the buildup, the anticipation. Well, we have an opportunity now because we're not watching broadcast television anymore. I mean, you may have your favorite show here and there and so on, but I mean, they're just not, hey, didn't you see and hear? No. Well, didn't you? No. Well, what about so-and-so said no? I run a news site and do a talk show, but I'm not, the propaganda. I spent last night, Don and I, prepping the email dispatch, and I'm going, what do I want to see? I want to see some latest in energy. I want to, see what's the latest in Ukraine. What's going on with Libya. Because we need another base so we can bomb the crap more out of Libya. What, Libya doesn't have enough desert or something? Just some weird stuff going on. So what's going on with Syria? What's the relationship between Syria and Russia? Because I've been getting some, information from people that the Syrian thing is all about the natural gas from Qatar on the western shore there of the Persian Gulf. And they have natural gas that they can sell to Europe via pipeline. You can start piping up, all kinds of plug into this well and it goes into Germany or something. Well, who's supplying the natural gas? Russia. Who does Russia support? Syria. Why do they support Syria all the time? It's a land, block, for a pipeline going from the Middle East into Europe. Oh. So somebody's telling me, go, look, man, that's what this whole thing is. I don't know if it's all about that, but man, that's a big giant chunk of financial incentive. Then you have the pipelines that they wanted to run across Afghanistan. Well, that was part of the big deal. This whole thing was, that we get to have, oh, by the way, you don't mind if we make $1 gazillion on bombing stuff and building it. Oh, don't think so? ISIS comes in, whoever the heck, Islamic State, if somebody leave us aloneism, something, or it's funded by CIA, who cares? It's literally halfway around the world, don't care, all right? So what happens is they come into Iraq, take over some cities, we bring in everything, A-10s and artillery and whatever, and then beat the living crap. You know what? we win, they're all dead, and we got this new rubble. We're going to rebuild it. $350 million goes to Iraq to rebuild what we blew up. What? The craziness is the craziness. So what else am I looking at? I'm looking at energy, communication. I mean, we just go through the list. What's the news on this, and this? We go and get that and put it up. And what did I put at the top of the page of all the negative stuff? There are two things that happen. Today is the anniversary of the launching of Apollo 11 to the moon. July 16th, 1960, whatever it was, okay? You go to the top of Freeman's Phoenix, and we were going to the moon! Oh, my goodness. The moon. To the freaking moon, okay? So on that anniversary is we have the photographs from the flyby of Pluto. So what I put up? 7 things we didn't know about Pluto. Now we know. And it's kind of, sticking its chest out and saying, hey, man, I am too a planet. So I got a moon, and 11,000-foot peaks of ice probably, whatever. So I'm going, all right, is that our distant gas station now? They all got some water. They got water and ice and what? Okay. So this is interesting, to say the least, that we now have a spacecraft go take photographs of Pluto. I'm going, man, better than not. But didn't need to be taxpayer funded. Now it's a crowdsourced Kickstarter thing with a ion solar sail warp drive of whatever the heck. I mean, this is it's just going to keep the solar system is just going to keep getting smaller, and it's just like air travel here. I mean, it just keeps getting smaller, but then it stops. Now they have supersonic transports that they're designing, as business jets and what. I mean, it went away. The SST is gone. And now a supersonic transport is going to be Spaceship 2 or something. And Spaceship Virgin Galactic, Richard Branson's company that, bought the Spaceship 1, 2, doing the tourism thing, they're now starting to put up their own. They're using White Knight, the mothership that drops it and then rockets into space. They're using that to put satellites into orbit. The communications now, all these guys it's all about people. Individuals connecting with each other, and they're going to bypass all of this stuff. The internet was done by the Department of Defense to route around breaks in communication from nuclear war. The only way they knew to do that is to be able to break communications. With a nuclear blast, the only way to be able to route around that was to have like a net, a web. Okay? Well, that's what they did. And it has such capacity that the trunk line was so big, it's a 30-foot culvert kind of thing. With it. Oh my God, he's on time. He's early. He's way early. Oh, it's because Dr. Paul's coming. I live close. Oh, okay. So you're on this side, Dr. Frank, man. That's like unheard of. All right, so we're gonna get started, with a really good show today. But I just want to make sure that you understand the context of where we're at. There's a new era coming, and we're kind of feeling our way and where we're going to be the most effective in this because we're activists, individuals, just living and being able to, through technology and communication. Government's getting small in our rearview mirror and slipping over the horizon. And you'll go, what was that?
There's no better app for tracking the value of cryptocurrencies than CoinCap. I've had a lot of apps for tracking Bitcoin, but none that's ever been able to track 500 digital assets at once. Their best feature is the Altfolio. I love this thing. You enter how many Bitcoins, Ether, Dash, Doge, or whatever else you have, and it tells you how much your crypto is worth. You can watch yourself get rich. If you have crypto, go right now to coincap.io, or you can use the Apple Store or Google Play to get the app. I love CoinCap. coincap.io. Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of hearing things like this on the radio and television?
I've read the Quran, the Hadiths, the Surahs. 90% of it is violence.
Terrorism, Islamic terrorism, ISIS, Islamic terrorism.
I would even submit to you that Islam's not even a religion. It's a social, political system that uses a deity to advance its agenda of global conquest.
Wouldn't you much rather hear things like this?
And Muslims traditionally were very libertarian in their approach.
The Prophet, peace be upon him, says even at times of war, you don't break a tree, you don't destroy buildings, you don't kill women and children, you don't kill the aged and the elderly.
What's called income tax in classical Islam is definitely prohibited. Muslims are very wary of any scholar who associates closely with a government, and they always have been.
Join Will Coley and his rotating cast of scholars on Call to Freedom every Sunday night from 10 p.m. to midnight on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM. When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Here we go.
It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock. To be a part of the show, call 602-264-2800.
Okay, what do I got here? Dr. Frank Tamburri came in. We're going to talk about he went and saw Trump this weekend, and he wants to share, and we get caught up in what's up. I got here $100 trillion Zimbabwe note. $100 trillion. That is like a joke to even do that. To say 100 trillion. I'm can you say 100? Like Dr. Evil, $100 trillion, so wow. Well, we got Dr. Ron Paul on, and I just got to preface it. We want to get into his new book, from Swords to Plowshares. And I read, just the first few pages. I got some of it, and I'm like, you skim it, you gotta go, damn, I gotta read this thing now. It was awesome. You can see it's a perspective of an entire life, of war. And the one question I prefaced, I want to make sure Dr. Paul knew the first question is, I don't want to get into politics and this. I don't care. It's all about culture and philosophy with me and Generation Next, and that's where who the book is really dedicated to is the next generation that just don't think there's an inevitable war all the time. And I remember growing up and graduated in 79. We have the 1980 Moscow boycott. We have Soviets invade Afghanistan. I remember thinking, can we just get this over with? Can we just, somebody push a button somewhere? I'm tired of hearing, and I'm sure it was a fleeting, thought, but it happened. And I'm wondering how long we got to wait for the next Ron Paul. You know, this we had a young senator from Maine, Eric Brakey, on yesterday, I think it was. And he's, out there doing the next generation, gets elected at 26. So you've inspired a lot of people, Dr. Paul. And I'm wondering, inspired him to what? I mean, what has to happen for this country to not be this empire of we rule you thing? Help me out, will you please?
Well, although I've been in politics for a long time, my whole goal has been probably very close to yours, and that is to inspire people to try to understand ideas, because it's ideas that count, so it's an educational effort. So some of my supporters were at times critical of what I was doing, because they say, well, you're more interested in philosophy and education than you are in winning the election. But, I didn't see it that way, because if my ideas were correct and what we were saying were good ideas, the vote reflected this. So you do eventually, even though there's a small percentage of people who really are the promoter of ideas, you still have to get the majority to endorse these views. So I think the campaign effort was for that, but to me it's to inspire young people, because once they get past a certain age, they get brainwashed. We get brainwashed from cradle to grave. Our government schools and, the TV and everything else is controlled by this. So I'm very much into going to the college campuses. I'm very excited about Young Americans for Liberty, and I meet so many young people, like the individual you say, the state senator up in Maine. But I am really surprised but very pleased when I bump into people like this all across the country, and I think they have it together right. They have the right, they're into politics for the right reasons, and they're dedicated to the understanding of what liberty is all about and what non-aggression is. And once you understand this one very simple, basic premise, all of a sudden, civil liberties come together, the war issues come together, the economic policies come together, and what's fun about it is there's a easy way to reach out to everybody, because we should be talking to progressives, independents, people who claim they believe in the Constitution, and on and on. And yet what we see in Washington, what happened is all we hear are these political fights, between Republicans and Democrats, and yet this basic principles, they both endorse them. They both support the Fed and interventions, foreign policy, and the welfare system. So there's a fertile field out there, because you get people on the progressive side that know a little bit about civil liberties, and they tend to be anti-war, and then you have some good conservatives who are reasonably good on economic policy. But there's a fertile field. The economic system and the political system's coming apart, and it's very, very ripe for us to have some major changes in attitude. And so far, I've been very encouraged by meeting the young people who are willing to look at these views.
That's one thing that a lot of people don't put, I guess a lot do, increasingly put more weight on just public opinion. I mean, they go, what's your battle? What are you going to win? You didn't win. You didn't get office. You didn't win. I'm like, win what? What the government computer said? I don't give a crap what that says. I really don't. It's always been about, that's why I was so enthusiastic in, the Lovolution, helping keep you on the podium. I didn't give a rip about everybody. Your campaign, I'll tell you, there was a lot of criticism that we got. We didn't focus on the precinct committee of walking of the kind of the people in the convention vote. I'm going, yeah, blah, 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 blah. We're just going to put up a few more overpass signs. Okay. So it was, to me, this battle of minds. How many minds can you free? And your book, From Swords to Plowshares, I'm looking at, let's get the title right, Swords into Plowshares, Ron Paul. Now, Swords into Plowshares, why that particular book? What are you trying to say?
Well, of course, this is a biblical quote where most of the time people think the only thing that has come from the Bible is that there will be wars and rumors of war, and that certainly has been true. But there's also been talk in the Bible, in the Old Testament as well, that there will a day come when we will take our swords and turn them into plowshares, and that is into peaceful use. And certainly in the New Testament, this is what Christ talked about, is peace. the tragedy right now is some of the same biblical proponents, are the proponents of war. When you come to preemptive war and Middle East wars, it's frequently, pushed by Christian groups. So, but it is the point that not only is it biblical for Christians, but essentially all great religions, in spite of the radicalism in each one, there's an element of the belief in the Ten Commandments and peace and love. And yet I think it's been, so far throughout human history, it's mostly been violence. And my suggestion is, does it have to be that way? And I don't believe it has to. I think the world changes. The human race evidently has been around for a long, long time, but there was a dramatic change 200 years ago with industrialization and the improvement in living standards and all this great knowledge, and the human race changed, and people did live better, but they also used all this technology to go to war. And I'm saying that why can't the human race advance socially as well as it did, as far as industrialization and the advantage of science that helped the people? And I don't see why this can't be true, but you have to have a basic understanding about the use of government. But when you think about this, what you're challenging is the concept of government throughout history, and that means that we have to, and the founders attempted to do this. They attempted to give us a government that was limited and not allow presidents to go to war. But in a way, that has been a failure, because now we have presidents with executive orders taking us to war and assassinating American citizens. But we have to decide whether we really want this much government. And I think that we should take the power of the governments actually to initiate war and let the people defend themselves. And I think the whole world would be better off. But it takes a lot of doing, and it's going to take a long time. So we're not going to see this in the next 10 years. But I think we need a generation or two to change this attitude. But it has to be clearly understood of the rejection of the initiation of violence, and preemptive war is what we're really looking for.
Oh, my goodness, you're against government. I mean, it's what it comes down to, or being governed, and this concept. That's why the show is called "Declare Your Independence." With Ernest Hancock. Because I really like the Declaration of Independence spirit, and it really had nothing to do with the Constitution or even the Bill of Rights. That was kind of Bill of Rights is added on so they didn't have another revolution. Hey man, might as well call him king. And so the Declaration of Independence, the whole purpose of government was to protect the rights of the individual. And when you don't do that, time to alter or abolish. Well, we're altering and abolishing in our minds. Who's leading that effort? I don't know. We can all lead ourselves. I tell you, a big inspiration, Dr. Ron Paul. One more subject.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government, the real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
Would odors, mold, and mildew describe your basement or crawl space? It doesn't have to be that way. Transform them into a fresh, healthy, usable one with the technologically advanced Wave moisture control units. The computerized operation maximizes moisture control and also expels harmful radon, combustion gases, and numerous other pollutants. Dehumidifiers are old technology that do nothing for air quality and waste energy. Wave units are intelligent, self-monitoring, do not need maintenance, and will save you hundreds in electricity. Wave units are still running effectively effectively over 15 years. They've been tested and installed in public and military housing and by property managers nationwide. Buy a unit now, and if your home is not fresher and drier, you can return it for a full refund for up to 12 months. What have you got to lose? Call now. 1-888-618-WAVE. 1-888-618-WAVE. Or visit mydryhome.com. That's mydryhome.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Freedom is the answer. What's the question?
I want to break free.
You're listening to Ernest Hancock.
I want to break free. I want to break free from your lies.
Yeah, from the lies. You know, truth is treason and empire lies. I mean, it's just, and that was the motivation for me to doing a lot of the stuff that we do and why I was so excited about even the potential of Dr. Paul Runn. And I said, you know, I called Kent Snyder, you know, the first day, it was middle of January. I saw that you had filed your papers to seek the blue ribbon panel to think about the committee of maybe I'll run. And I'm going, yep, is this true? Kent goes, yeah, if we can raise it. And I go, yep. Talk to the hand, man. I already know what I'm going to do. So this is because I could see it was so much pent up. And as an activist on the street, I could see what was going to happen. And I went to Charles and I go, watch this. And this was like February. I go, watch what happens. And it was so, and a lot of people didn't understand how it was that I knew. And it was because I knew you. I'm going, I knew what was going to happen. You were going to get up on the podium, and they're going to say, you're really a libertarian. You're going, yeah, and you're really a statist, and, you know, let's just leave. So they couldn't get you to kowtow. They couldn't get you to, you had been saying this for decades, and every teenager with a, you know, computer would just go back and look, and damn, man, this guy's been saying this for a long time. What was the confidence that you had in your message? What was the kernel of truth? Was it simple as non-aggression? Was it a biblical scripture? Was it experience? I mean, what was it that kept you under the pressure from all directions and then putting you in a little bitty office in Congress? You know, I've been to your office and I'm going, damn, they didn't like you. You know? So I'm going, what was it that kept you going with such a positive attitude?
Well, I think it was the acceptance of a basic principle of the non-aggression, that this was the road to peace and prosperity, and I was very, very confident that the message was correct. And I said this frequently in public. And I said, and people would, make criticism which were, justified at maybe the delivery. And I said, yeah, maybe the delivery isn't perfect. But I'll tell you one thing I have a great deal of confidence in free market economics, protection of civil liberties, and a peaceful foreign policy. And you cannot sway me from this. And so that reason, somebody asked me once, what was your reaction after the Giuliani incident? And I said, well, it was, as far as I was concerned, it was just, I didn't even know it was a big deal. I just said, did you contemplate what you were saying, what kind of controversy it would be? No, I just knew what the answer was because I had developed the answers to every question I could conceive of over all those years. So for me to sit and say, I have to modify this answer, then my brain would have gotten mixed up.
Yes.
And this is what happens to the politician.
Yes.
He's always weighing things. Do I say it now or don't I? Do I change the words? Do I change my position? So it was really very easy for me, and I felt good about it. The shock to me was what you indicate that you knew about, was the reception, because I remember that first time in 07 when we made that announcement, because I wasn't really much into the internet and all that. And it was sort of a casual announcement. It was put out on YouTube, and there was an explosion, of interest. And it just that really shocked me. But it was also encouraging to me. And then as the campaign went and the crowds got bigger and bigger, not that we ever got any PR attention from our crowds, but they were very reassuring to me that I wasn't by myself and that it was much bigger than I ever knew. So the groundwork had been laid by the many libertarian groups.
The groundwork
was a reflection. This was a reflection of the groundwork being laid all the way back to Leonard Reed in the last 50 years.
Absolutely.
And that's what really excited me, that there was a revolution going on. And I think our little bumper sticker with the revolution was fantastic. I wished I wished I was allowed to use that again.
Why not?
Well, you heard that some clown someplace, trademarked it. And
I'm like, bring him on. I'm not an IP guy anyway. I'm a guy that did it, and I'm going, yeah. Everybody's like, Ernie, you should do something. Do what? I will do whatever I want. I'll pay him to sue me. Bring it on. So that was, Russell Brand, who we're talking about, and when the Levolution logo came out, even Charles, he was like, Charles Goyette, he goes, Ernie, man, aren't you just, I go, seriously? Heck, this is what I wanted. It's the peace symbol. It's ubiquitous. It's everybody. I mean, he's trying to trademark it and do it. I'm going, yeah. Try and stop me from using it. I'll send him a note, please. I never said anything about that logo until he did this, and I went on the Amazon thread. It was on, Daily Paul and Popular Liberty. They were going on about it, and I went out and I said, look, he's, Brand, give him time. He'll come around, but it's been defined by us. If he goes off into whatever the heck, Che Guevara-ism something, he's going to try and do with it, it's not going to work. It's not going to be the same, and so the controversy is good. It's good. I like it. Hey, Dr. Frank Tamburri wanted to ask something. Go ahead.
Hi, Dr. Paul. I'll probably stop with the pleasantries. I'm like many of your people who've changed their life. I'm a physician that's cash only, and set that up from what I learned from you back in the 90s. But it's kind of a long story. But the question I have is, Ernie and I are friends, and aside from the political area, we have a certain disagreement about what the revolution or levolution should be as far as the primary goal. Obviously, education, philosophy, and changing the culture is primary. But an area where I guess we have a difference is, to me, your movement really was about exposing also ballot access problems and how corrupt and broken the system is for Americans to express their vote. And I was just wondering, was that intentional with you? Do you think that's just a side effect of it, or was that part of your overall philosophy and plan, especially with the Campaign for Liberty?
Yeah, I think there's room for everything. If you want to concentrate on the ruthlessness on how you even get on ballots and get attention, some people say never get involved in politics, and yet I was involved in politics, and they say, well, that's exceptional. But yeah, I think there's room for for both sides of that, because I think people who never vote is strictly educational and is changing people's mind, that is fine. But I'd have to defend my position that you can do that and hold your head high and do it in politics. And I think it's a joke. It gives me a chance to mock our foreign policy.
Yay, mocking!
When they say, okay, our goal is to make the world safe democracy, and we're going to invade countries and teach them how to be good Democrats. Americans die over it, and we kill thousands. Then they finally get an election. Oh, he's the wrong guy. We have to kill him. Put the next guy in. So I said, why don't we, if you're thinking about having fair elections, why don't you think about home? Why don't you think about how money buys every election essentially in this country? And it's a farce when it comes to thinking that independent-minded people get a fair shake. I think if you're independent-minded and you're challenged to the status quo in a true sense of the word, they gang up on you. The Republicans and the Democrats and everybody in the government and the media and the military-industrial complex, they all get together because the last thing they want is a reflection of the people's attitudes. What they want to do is control the people's attitude, and that's their whole goal. It's the war propaganda and teach people that, we're the humanitarians, we're going to take care of you, and therefore you have to obey us, and if not, we'll call you you're unpatriotic. And, that was the charge they threw at me. You're unpatriotic, you don't care about the troops. Yet it turned out that
the people
policy I thought about, the military sort of liked my foreign policy.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was, I loved that stat when the Ron Paul chart guy was doing all this stuff. Hey, active military give more money to Ron Paul than other guys combined. What? You're not allowed to say that. This is, I don't have a problem with politics. I ran like every election from 90 to 10. But I didn't, I was trying to do what you're doing is education, and you don't worry about winning, so you get to say what needs to be said. I run against McCain. I ran against John Shadegg 3 times. I run for Secretary of State twice. That's where a lot of our activism came from. But you don't capitulate. You're right. You don't give up. You don't compromise away the very thing that you're trying to espouse. You don't. And Dr. Paul has done that. And we go to war. And then we have ISIS blows up a whole bunch of cities in Iraq, and we give them $350 million to go rebuild it. Well, that's a good gig if you can get it.